You are listening to the Savage FINcast, episode 130, Rockk, Grokk, Cockk.
Chicago. A criminal mastermind called Overlord held our city in his terrifying grip. Ordinary cops were losing the battle against Overlord's super freaks and mutants. Then, a miracle happened. When I found him, he had no memory of his past. I helped him find an identity and a life. Now we have a fighting chance. Now we have the dragon.
This is the Savage FINcast, the show that advises looking directly into the eclipse. No, not really. Please don't sue us. My name is Jim Purcell.
I'm Craig Olson.
I'm Raven Perez.
And this is Mark Welzer.
And we welcome you again to another episode of the Savage FINcast, the internet's only, as far as we know, Erik Larsen and Savage Dragon-related podcast. It's been a minute since our last episode. We had a bit of a quote-unquote snafu concerning the release of the last issue in terms of timing and other things. So we are finally getting it out and out to you. It's going to be an interesting issue, I think.
Look, let's be real. We got as many issues in these first few months as we did all of last year. So we can't be held accountable. We can't be held accountable for that. It's not our fault.
Two
That's
is
the way
I hope he keeps
two is a much larger number than none.
Yeah. He likes to let you get all like sleepy and punchy, and then he just waylays you with like back-to-back, like nonstop, two issues in 1 month. Like, come on.
Actually, was it 3? When did the wedding issue come out? Was that end of December or start of January?
January.
We've had 3 issues in 3 months. Can you actually believe it?
That's what I'm saying. Daddy E is back.
It's on fire. Let's keep up the momentum here, Erik.
Yeah.
All
Don't
right.
let up, Larsen.
We do have a bit to talk about, so let's get right into that news.
All right, so jumping into the news, we have a bunch of new Savage Dragon, at least one solicitation and one cover. Savage Dragon 271, which you can find on the Image Comics website. The solicitation reads as, "The rascally rodent returns. The famous star of stage has his eyes set on Maxine Dragon, and Malcolm and the SOS have their hands full trying to protect her. Comes with our highest possible recommendation." And this, of course, is the cover with Mickey Mouse's back to the viewer, and he's facing off against the SOS team.
I can't believe he's going for it. He's doing it. He is poking the bear.
I love it. And you know what? Here's the thing. Fucking nobody profited off of the public domain more than Disney. And so it's about time they gave back.
It really is, like, to the point where people see Peter Pan and Aladdin and think that those are Disney creations.
Right.
Yeah.
So. My kids, when we were on vacation, they saw a poster for that Winnie the Pooh horror movie, and they were just like, "What the hell is that? How can that be?" And they were like they couldn't believe that someone could take a Disney movie and do that.
Yeah,
and they just don't realize Winnie the Pooh's like existed before that.
Time to sit him down and have that very important conversation about trademark and copyright law. Get out the dolls of Captain Marvel and Captain Marvel. And tell them the whole sordid affair.
It's really crazy because, like, again, I applaud it because it's like, dude, you know, if you know your comic history, if you know your goddamn history of like fucking anything, you know that Disney not only super duper used the public domain to their own benefit, but like they also ruined public. I mean, they changed the fucking laws to keep like their hands on this shit longer than ever. Like they forever changed the public domain. And so it's like, it's crazy. I've been watching like people's little like commentaries and shit, and they're like, "I just can't believe that anybody could do that. Oh, you better not. Disney will get you." And it's like, it's so crazy that people
Honestly,
literally...
though, I would still be scared shitless to do something like this.
I mean, I gotta say, the balls, because it's one thing to use Mickey in the comic. It's another thing to put that very, very trademarked ears and head shape on your cover. That is, there's no way Disney doesn't own that.
I mean, they have the trademark, but like, you know, copyright being in the public domain means you can do new things. It's why you have King Kongs. There's like so many King Kongs. It's like, yeah. Once that shit is out there, anybody can do what they want with it and remix it, and that's the beauty of the public domain. And it's like Craig said, there's fucking adults that don't realize that that's how it works.
Right.
Like, they're so used to Disney just coming down fucking hard on everybody that it's like, yeah, there is also, though, like, you can do what you want once something's in the public domain. I mean, not 100%, obviously, but, like, yeah, the way Erik's using Mickey is actually pretty safe.
Who's the next big character? Like Popeye or?
Superman.
Popeye's... No, I mean, he means, like, how soon. Superman's, like, probably a decade away. Popeye is next. Parts of Thimble Theater are already public domain, but Popeye himself didn't get introduced until, I think, this year, 100 years ago. So I think he is next. And then another one, but it's not Superman and Batman. But they are soon. Like, they are soonish.
Do you think once like Superman and Batman hit the public domain that's just gonna, even if DC is still around like it is, would that kind of put the nail in the coffin
of what?
Of DC, if anyone can just publish their own, like,
they'll still own the trademarks. They're still gonna make all the official Batman and Superman comics and movies. That's never not gonna change.
And they'll still own like Krypton and Gotham City, and
all the
side things. Yeah, that's true. But then he'll just be appearing in team-ups on everyone's book.
Yeah, and I mean, like, here's the thing is, it's kind of like what always made me laugh about how these corporate companies are allowed to just make these infinite iterations of their characters and stuff. And it's like, that's the trick, isn't it? Like, you can use Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse, but the Mickey Mouse where you can see the whites of his eyes, you can't use that.
Right.
And it's kind of like, what a weird fucking thing that it's like when Batman becomes public domain, it's like, yeah, or Superman, here's a better one. When Superman becomes public domain, you can use Superman in your comic, sure. You can't give him a mullet.
Well, you can't give him that. You can't give him the proper S shield because in his original appearance, he had that triangle thing.
Yeah, he can't really fly because he can
just jump.
Right,
just jump.
I think that there's going to be a point where someone's going to see, oh, Batman and Superman are public domain, I can use them. And then they'll fuck up and use some stuff that they absolutely do not have access to use.
Right.
Yeah.
And then DC's going to come after them.
Well, that's why I'd be so terrified about, like, using Mickey Mouse or something. I wonder if Erik's got, like, a lawyer just looking to make sure, like,
his wife.
Oh, you can't use the one with the buttons on his pants,
or
or those shoes can't be used.
Well,
I'd be so terrified that they'd want to make an example out of me.
Well, I'm shocked he's got red pants. I'll be honest, because red pants came later.
Nope, misconception. They advertised Steamboat Willie, and he had red pants on the poster.
Oh, so it's not striped head pants only. Okay.
Yep, and you know how Mickey's shoes are like not yellow,
right?
In the comic.
Right.
That's straight from the poster. So he had like kind of these weird like muddy brown shoes and red pants.
Well, we'll see. How bad do you think this mouse is going to get choked to death, by the way?
I hope he gets beat to a bloody pulp.
It's a goddamn freak, dude.
Anyway, we got more covers to talk about.
Yeah, sorry.
So let's move on to the cover of 272, which I'm pretty excited about based on the looks. I don't think we have a solicitation summary yet, but the cover says, "Those who would destroy us, where stalk the night dwellers." This one has it all. which shows kind of Maxine gripping onto Malcolm as Malcolm's like jumping on top of a bunch of cool looking, I don't know, goblin type guys, or I don't know what they look like. How would you guys? Yeah,
they got guns and spears. They're
kind of remind me of like New God type villain.
Yeah,
like
they're kind of
guys.
Yeah, they're kind of like Bug or whatever they're called. Foragers. They have a name.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So 2 covers on that, one in blue, one in yellow, and then
which do you
prefer?
I like blue. I like blue background.
I like the blue background, although it doesn't seem like it should work. It does.
Right.
I like the yellow.
Yeah, I think I go with the yellow one.
The reason why I like the blue is like the little circle that the little miniature Malcolm thing is. It kind of looks like a moon with the blue background. It's kind of neat.
Speaking of like that kind of stuff, have you guys noticed the another Erik Larsen smash hit stamp on the standard covers?
Yeah.
Apparently
So
that's there because he moved the issue numbering back underneath the image eye, and he put that there to balance the cover.
Yeah, which I think is cool. I like the number under the image eye. It kind of feels more like comic-y to me.
Well, it feels like it's 1995 again.
Yeah, exactly. Which is,
but also back then, like he never had anything on that side of the covers before in that corner. So
right.
It doesn't really need it to balance it off, but hey, whatever, I'll take it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be another variant. Simon Millet, St. Pierre has, you know him as he's done a bunch of backups with the Dragon Kids, which are always fantastic. He's got a cover with Malcolm kind of like shattering glass. Which is cool to see. I like that Erik is tossing out like covers to some of the longtime kind of contributors that have done backups and stuff like that. I do think that's pretty cool that these guys are getting their little like moment to shine on a cover.
Hell yeah, and it's a cool cover too. I like that background color and just the muted tones that he decided to go with on there. Yeah, looks real sharp.
And then moving on, lastly, we got a glimpse of a cover for I'm trying to
Blood Squad 7.
Blood Squad 7 number 2, which is a book coming out by Joe Casey and art by Paul Fry. But this is a variant cover by Jim Rugg, which is a 1 in 20 variant. And it's got, I guess, one of the characters from Blood Squad 7 asking Dragon if he's going to join. He's kind of this giant kind of bad rock type rock guy, it looks like, staring down at Dragon. Very cool illustration. I don't know much about Blood Squad 7. It feels like it's a kind of a 90s image throwback superhero team or something. Joe Casey.
Yeah, from what little that I heard about it, I know it does take place in 92.
Oh, okay.
So, nice. Which is why we got Dragon as a cop and all that, or they go back in time or something. But it's set in that early 90s image era.
So the solicitation for this says, rebuilding a brand, even one as ubiquitous as Blood Squad 7, has its challenges. For one thing, even superheroes aren't perfect. What happens when that imperfection slips through the cracks? What sacrifices is this new team willing to make? Plus a flashback to 1992 guest starring the original Savage Dragon. So I guess he's not only on the cover, but he's actually in the book.
So well, that seals the deal. I gotta get it.
Right.
Well, I gotta say this: Dutch has been pretty good, and if this is a spin-off of Dutch, then I suspect it will also continue to be good.
You know what, Dutch, the art, it reminds me of what's his name, that guy you like, Jim.
Oh boy, you're gonna have to be more specific than that.
I know. I'm trying to think.
I think I know
though. What's his name? The British.
Paul Grist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Doesn't
I can see that.
The art reminds me. Yeah.
You mean hold on, I'm going to pull up his name. The new artist Simon Gain.
I get the new art. Yeah.
Yeah, because Dutch Zero was a reprint of stuff that ran in the Image.
Yeah, no, that was
series.
great too. I like
that. Was by Nathan Fox, but the regular series artist is Simon Gain. And yeah, I guess I can see that. Yeah, there's a bit of a Paul Grist look to it. Yeah, I see that.
That's what I thought at first when I saw. I was like, oh, Jim would like that.
I do like it. I like it a lot. But I know a lot of people don't because it isn't like 90s enough for some people for a 90s like throwback comic. But
yeah,
I disagree.
Well, fuck them, Jim.
But I think that was like the best thing about like even when like they were redoing all the Liefeld properties with Brandon Graham and like they just got like kind of indie artists and guys doing completely different stuff on these. I mean, we've already seen the 90s take on these characters, you know.
Yes.
Right.
Let's get
get a new coat of paint on them. And
the thing is, though, I think Liefeld's involved in this somehow because Dutch is a Liefeld character. He's like straight out of.
I think he's like he's one
Team
of the
Youngblood. I think.
I don't think he's Liefeld's though. I think he's one of the guys that work.
Oh, that's
for
right. He's
Liefeld.
Chap Yep's. Chap Yep.
Yep.
Yape.
Yeah, I think that's how you say it.
Okay, so it's his creation from the Extreme line.
That can't be how you say his
Probably
name.
not.
Chap Yap.
I think it is.
I know what you're
dude.
saying. That's the way it's spelled.
It's pronounced Chap Yap.
How would you pronounce it?
I think it is, dude.
It's Y-A.
I don't know.
It's Y-A-E-P. It's definitely Chap. It's either
Yes.
Yap or Yape.
I always, in my head, pronounced it Yape, but I don't know. Chap Yap sounds somehow insulting.
That's got to be it, though, because that would be the thing that would lead to the most embarrassment. That sounds embarrassing. It's like, no, that's my name.
I mean, names are fucking weird because
They are weird.
Like look at Russ Wooten. Would you believe that's a real name, Russ Wooten?
I don't think
No.
it's that bad, is it? I don't know.
This is an aside, but I recently learned that Wetzel's Pretzels was delayed because they weren't sure what to call the company. And the guy that founded his last name was Wetzel, and it took him a very long time to come up with Wetzel's Pretzels.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah.
It's like right in front of your face, dude.
Yeah.
Apparently, the guy, the creator, he's like, well, I don't want to do that because when I was young, people used to bully me and call me Wetzel Pretzel. It's like, well, don't make a fucking pretzel company, my brother.
Like there's
God, you called me a pretzel. Holy shit.
Like there's an artist I know whose name is Warren Please. Warren Please.
That sounds
War and
weird
Peace.
too.
Names are weird. People have weird names.
Yeah,
And
names are weird.
Especially in comic books, and you run across them all the time.
Yeah, dude.
Especially on
I feel
podcasts
like-
where you're trying
I
to
say,
remember how to
I don't
pronounce
think
them.
I still don't know if I pronounce Wilsey Portatio correctly.
Oh, no, dude. It's Waltz Portasio. You see? That's how that works.
Raven Perez sounds like the fakest name I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Dude,
Right.
it does. And what's funny is, like, back in the old prehistoric internet days, when everybody used, like, secret code names,
Right.
I just called myself Raven because people fucking thought it was a fake name. And people would be like, what's your real name? And I'd be like, it's Raven. They'd be like, fine, don't trust me.
Yeah. You stand in the corner
What's
with
your
drink
last
saying,
name?
Little insider baseball. Even Simon Malik St. Pierre was like, Raven, in quotes. And I was like, no, it's Raven. It's really.
And then he
really
felt like
Raven.
an asshole.
No,
We're
I
all
should-
jealous because our names suck. That's why.
You just got to have a hippie for a parent. That's all you got to do.
Does seem to be the formula. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Of course, in the modern age, you get called Apple or X. So, it could be worse.
Or a normal name, like you could be Jim. You could still be Jim, but it would be spelled like JQYEXM.
I mean, there is a Q in my name.
So there you go. Perquell.
I'm James Q. Purcell. That's my name.
What's the Q stand for? Quincy?
Nope.
Quentin?
It's 1 out of 3. Try again.
It's not Quincy or Quentin.
It is Quentin. Got it in 2.
Quentin!
James Quentin.
Directed by Quentin Perceltino.
That's horrible.
Sorry.
It's too bad that there's no way to cut that out of the show.
I'm going to run it
not-
twice.
Directed by Quentin Perceltino. Not my hands.
It's gonna be the lead.
Taking it back to this Blood Squad 2 variant, I just want to say shout out to those goddamn muscles, hair, and veins. Like,
Yeah, that arm looks really good.
Rugg understands the assignment.
he gets it. He just gets it.
Yeah, the fin is A+.
Yep.
Something about that, you just see that veiny goddamn arm, and your 90s heart sings. You know what? I feel like we really did a deep dive into those covers, so thanks, Craig, for that awesome legendary first news article. Moving right along, Savage Dragon Megaton Man is going to run in the complete Megaton Man universe volume 2. It's also going to include the Megaton Man weekly serial, which if you read Savage Dragon, you already read. It's the one where they're driving around in the VW van and you got the Gower Goose and the Alan Moore self-insert jammed in there. So you probably remember that, right? They played baseball. It was crazy as hell. Those are going to be 600 pages, so if you ever needed to like slay a foe with a comic book, bada boom. And that's coming out in the year 2025, so I think by the time that hits, we will all have been raptured away. So yeah, that's how you do a news article.
Volume 1 is coming out this year, I believe.
That has 0 Savage Dragon in it, so I will not be getting it. But
well, I'm excited to see this because that's like one of the only things that hasn't been reprinted from Erik
In its entirety.
In its entirety,
parts
yeah,
of it are
been
reprinted in various trades.
Several times, yeah. But seeing him and Don stuff, just the black and white, I think that's going to look real sharp.
Yeah.
Agreed. Especially if they do anything like throw some like black tones on it or shading or whatever else. Like, I don't know.
I hope it's black and white. Was it confirmed?
I don't know other than Don said he got ultra clean black and white scans.
It's got to be, right? Because it's got to be like the same issue where it's like the
600 pages, yeah. I feel like that's a Marvel Essentials phone book.
Yeah.
Well, and most of his stuff's black and white anyway.
Yeah.
We're having a Don Simpson renaissance. Like, I'm glad that guy has just come back from the dead and he's just doing so much. Always awesome. Him and Erik still bros after all these years, even if him and Rob aren't.
Honestly, his stuff is it's very similar to Savage Dragon. He's a guy that's got like 1 million characters, and like if you read all his like books, he throws them all out there, almost like too much. But it's amazing the volume of characters this guy has,
and the longevity that he's been able to have with these characters too.
Yeah, and the thing is, he leans a lot more into the comedy, but he does mix like he can draw like normal hero books and be serious, and then like flip on a dime and have it real cartoony and stuff, which I can kind of appreciate. I like that. Yeah,
and a lot of it does just take these old comic book superhero tropes that you're used to seeing, and he just plays with them, which is a lot of what happened in Dragon, at least in the early days.
Yep. Also, obviously, he's a huge fan of Kirby, so that influence shows. But
right,
it'll be cool. It'll be cool to get it all in one collection. I have a lot. I think I have most of them. I might be missing an issue here and there, but I enjoy flipping through them. The guy is talented as hell.
Oh yeah,
he he's a great penciler, great inker. His lettering is like insane. One of the best letterers, I think.
Yeah. The really like legit, like no joke, like definitely dig your teeth into some Don Simpson shit, dear listener, if you haven't. I know that weekly backup probably didn't give you the best impression, to be frank. I mean,
right.
I remember like I had that journey where I was like, what is this Megaton Man shit? I'm not feeling it. Dude, I went out, got some issues, started like reading more Don Simpson stuff. Hey, I'm a fan. The guy's a pro. He's a legend. Unsung hero, like influenced goddamn shit you'd never imagine, like Dr. Manhattan, The Tick. Like it's crazy. Like when you really start peeling back the layers on the Don Simpson onion, the guy is fucking like been everywhere. It's just he's not a sung hero like some of these old hands. So it's cool, man. I'm glad to see this shit getting collected.
Now, do you mean that Dr. Manhattan was inspired visually by Don Simpson?
Thematically, he was an
I
atomic.
think
He was an atomic superhero, and
I-
the Stella by Starlight, Megaton mandate scene is almost verbatim presented in Watchmen. Like the buildings are like crossword puzzles.
Oh, specifically the date stuff because Dr. Manhattan was based on Captain Atom. That was from the 70s.
But he's still like an atomic powered like Megaton man. I'm telling you, dudes, it's there. It's all there.
That was
You're even doubting me
more
now as I
sincere
say it.
answer than I was looking for with my stupid question that was a joke. But go.
No, it's good. It's good shit. Look into it. Look into it, dear reader. Feels like there's another news article that maybe Mark would be best equipped to handle.
No, I can do this one. She-Dragon appears in Local Man Bad Girls one shot.
Oh shit! I can't read. You're right.
Which I haven't read yet because I'm broke, but I have seen it panels pulled from it, and She-Dragon is definitely in it. So that's really interesting.
What a Freudian slip.
Indeed. If it's anything like other Local Man stuff, there'll be stuff set in the past and stuff set in the present. So the She-Dragon stuff is probably past related, considering her current status, which is actually I'm really interested in reading it just to see like what they do with She-Dragon, because if my memory serves correctly, She-Dragon's history is pretty different in the Savage world. So I'm curious if it fits in, or if we have to assume this is the Old Image universe.
It's probably Old Image. I will be reading it probably this week and can let you know.
Tim Seeley, we've said it before, he is feeling his 90s fucking love, and yeah, man, there's no reason to think that there will be no talk of scales.
Right.
Yeah. The man knows his shit.
Well, that's a great segue because Killadelphia 34 is currently available through Image Comics, and it features not just a Malcolm Dragon, but Old Man Dragon, or in this case, I guess, Old Ghost Dragon shows
Old
up in
Ghost
there.
Man Dragon.
Yeah, it's a continuation of the guest appearance that he had in the previous issue, where it ended with Malcolm seeing his dead dad visiting him from beyond the grave. And not a lot of Dragon in the issue to talk about. It's interesting because Dragon died in issue 225.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Malcolm moved to Canada in 226. So this is only at like a 1 month window where this could even take place, because in the Killadelphia he is still a Chicago cop.
Okay.
I don't know, it just doesn't seem like there's a lot of time for him to be... It's me again. It's been like a month. He's asking, how's Angel doing? He's like, it's probably doing very similar to how she was doing a week ago. But once again, the art's really good. The story is confusing for somebody that doesn't read the series. I don't know what's going on. Blackula's in it. It's cool.
Blackula? Whoa,
Yeah.
hold on.
Wait, a Blackula or the Blackula?
The.
Yeah.
Blackula? What?
It's a cool concept that's going on, even if I don't understand what's happening.
Okay.
Because I'm coming in reading issues 34 and 35. Or
Listen,
whatever.
you sold me. You sold me.
How many more issues does this go for? Do you know?
What are you talking
I don't know,
about?
but it
It's
seems
an
like the
ongoing
way
series.
the
No,
issue
the crossover.
ended, I don't.
Like
one more, I think.
It feels like there's going to be at least one more. It doesn't seem like the Malcolm Dragon stuff was wrapped up. So I feel like we'll have at least one more issue of Malcolm at least.
Is Spawn...
Dragon shows up, he gives Malcolm a pep talk, and he's like, alright, I'm going to go shoot these demons.
Is Spawn in there?
Spawn's in it too, yeah.
Yeah, somebody, like, what's funny is, like, I've heard pretty much underwhelming from Dragon fans, with the exception of one Dragon fan who told me that, like, it was great and gave him chills. And so I'm just like, I just need to know, like, would you consider this, like, a must-get or, skip, or what? What are you feeling, Mark?
I think if you're a super nerd and if you're a completist, definitely. But it doesn't add much to what we know about Dragon. That's although there is a flashback panel where we do see Overlord.
Okay.
It's basically Dragon just talking about some battles that he fought, and you get to see Overlord and Cutthroat and somebody else. I think Damien Darklord's in there too, but
Wow.
no, I don't think it's necessary because it's so brief. He's a very small part of the story.
It's weird.
But
I just got to say, it's weird.
It is weird.
I don't know Killadelphia, so I'm probably the wrong guy to be making judgment calls. But to me, if you get permission to use Savage Dragon, you use him.
Yeah, and I'm the wrong person to be saying do or don't get it either because I don't know anything about this book, but it's cool. And if you want to read it from
generally
issue 1,
well regarded. I mean, it's been going for a while now.
Yeah, it's a well put together book. Staples are in the right place.
Although it just kind of reminds me of. Do you guys remember when Dragon was in Proof?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah,
Barely.
that was like a multi-part, like 2 or 3 issues where Dragon was just around, and I thumbed through him once, and not much happens.
It didn't do anything for me.
I will say that this issue does feel like there's more Dragon lore to it. Like you said, he does mention Angel. There's mention of some of the other villains that he's fought.
Right, and it's not just Dragon, and it's a multiple issue thing. So it's it's not like he's crossing over in one issue.
Right,
Make
right.
the most.
Right,
Of
It's not a
it.
cameo.
Spawn's still in it.
Yeah.
No, and there's like the main story is happening simultaneously while Dragon is in there, who in this issue is referred to as Daddy Reptile in one of the panels.
People really get hung up on the whole Dragon part of his name sometimes.
They sure do. They sure do. One of the craziest fucking things.
Yeah, it's written well. The dialogue's good. I like like I said, the Blackula stuff's really cool. But if you're reading it just for Dragon, I don't think it's worth it.
You know what? Listen, I think it's a must-own based purely on the fact that you are not going to own another comic that has Savage Dragon, Blackula, and Spawn. I just don't think you are.
That's for
That's
damn
a good
sure.
point. But Blackula and Dragon don't share any screen time together.
Oh, missed opportunity, dude.
But hey, you know what? Issue 35 is not out yet, so
There's still a chance for
there's still a chance.
Malcolm to electrocute Blackula.
Yeah. I think maybe once this arc is over, it'd probably be easier to judge if it's recommendable or not to Dragon fans. But
I will say this, and like credit where credit's due, Craig said this. But I do think it's cool that we are having just a tiny renaissance of Savage Dragon cameos
right.
in other books. And we haven't had that in a long time, right?
And it's like multiple different characters, like Super Patriot, She Dragon, Malcolm. It's pretty cool.
I'm thankful.
Yeah. Killcat can't be far behind.
Saying,
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised if like one of some obscure characters showed up in Local Man or.
Oh yeah, I mean they already have. I mean fucking Boof was in it.
Boof. Boof is the all-time ultimate obscure image character.
It is a great time because the people that are making comics now were fans of comics, these Image comics in the 90s when they were kids. So now they get the chance to cross over with these guys. And yeah, like you said, I can't remember the last time where there were multiple crossovers with Dragon characters happening around the same time.
That's true. That's true.
Fuck it, we'll celebrate it. I mean, it's a victory in my book.
By Killadelphia. This is Shilladelphia now.
This has been Killadelphia with Mark Welzer.
All right, what's next?
Take us home, Jim.
Yeah, Savage Dragon Ultimate Archives Volume 3 now available for pre-order. So we got another one of the archives coming out, presumably covering another 12 or 13 issues.
22 to 35.
Which reminds me, I never bought Volume 2, so oops.
This one's got
So that's
like the
Ninja
stretch,
Turtles through Hellboy?
Yeah, like the stretch of guest appearances: Spawn, Hellboy, Wildstar, Max, Ninja Turtles. He went through like a little
The Image World
clip.
Tour there.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. This is through through the 30s. So yeah, that whole chunk of like 30 through 40 is all the guest appearance stuff with Max and, as you all said.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm reading the contents of Ultimate Collection 3 or 2, and it says it's 9 to 21. So this next one should be like 22 through
35.
35.
Okay. All right, so about halfway through. That must be 35 is just before the Spawn crossover, I think.
No, 30. The Spawn was in
that's on the cover.
30 and 31.
Oh, that's on the cover, so it must be just after it, or the two issues must end it.
Yeah, Hellboy 34 and 35 were the Hellboy issues.
Oh, okay. Okay. There's more after. Okay, that makes sense because then I imagine Volume 4 will have the SOS Dragon group up shot on the cover because that's going to be the big issue 40 status quo change.
Sounds about right.
Well, hell yeah, dude.
Yep, another one in the bag. And these things keep coming out. Hopefully within a few years we'll have them all, and then people can shut the hell up about how hard it is to get into Savage Dragon.
They're still going to complain because once there's a few more of them out, they'll be like, there's so much.
Now the earlier ones are sold out. I can't get them.
I can find issue 2
Eventually.
if you want it. It's on in stock.
No, that's going to be the new complaint from people.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. I can get Ultimate Archive 6 and not 1. What's the point?
3 is going to be the one that sells out because everybody wants that sweet Spawn crossover.
I mean, it is gonna be like easy to get probably like the first 3, and then if you don't buy like the later issues, they're not gonna reprint them probably because the demand won't be there. That's the only reason why I thought it kind of. I would have liked it seen it include more issues per volume.
Yeah,
but the more
issues are, the more expensive they are. I mean, at least these are reasonable at usually around $25 discount online.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not the most expensive they could be. And I've had a few omnibuses now. I've got a few, and I find those things to be kind of unwieldy.
Jim, you know what he needs to do, don't you?
What?
The format he has not done, manga-sized, black and white.
Oh, God. Oh. Look, I don't think this art reduces well, and I don't think that would look good. There's a bunch of reasons I don't like digest-sized U.S. comics, and it's primarily because when the art gets reduced, the binding suffers. They don't open well. I've never met a manga-sized U.S. comic that binding wasn't dog shit.
Brutal.
Now, we already know Savage Dragon looks good in black and white because of the archives. The trick I think is being missed is some sort of equivalent to the Marvel Epic collections that are soft covers for like $30 or $35 that reprint like 25 issues a whack. I think that's the next step. The fat reprint with a lot of issues for as cheap as you can make it.
Honestly, I think that should have been the first step to get people on board, but I'll take whatever. I'll buy my I don't know, 10th different version of Savage Dragon #1.
Right, of course. You always will. Someone has to.
Oh, goddamn. You know what? I think that's more news than we have had in a long time. It feels good. Shall we shuffle along to the FINteresting conversation? The section of the show that, frankly, is a top performer. It's always a winner. It never's hurting for content. The FINteresting conversation, baby.
What's great about it is we always come prepared.
Yes.
That's right.
For the FINteresting conversation. We spend all month long
thinking of
lists upon lists and crossing out the ones we don't like,
right,
moving them up the ladder to which ones are good conversations, and to bring you listeners the best of the best.
Just putting on those discussion groups and bringing people in and paying them to help us.
Focus groups, yeah.
Yeah, the focus groups. It's just time consuming.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
But it's worth it.
It's a lot of work.
And a lot of that has to come out of our pocket. Mm-hmm. And I feel like at twice the price, it's still a really good deal.
Yeah. Half a
it's just
bargain and
all
twice
for the
the price.
listeners. I mean, that's what
Yeah.
we're here for.
That's
Yeah.
what we're here for.
All right.
In a
so,
lot of ways, we're servants.
And heroes.
and hero servants.
Yeah,
Humble.
we're the real heroes.
So it seems like the last heroic discussion was about who you, dear listener, would like to see crossover with Malcolm Dragon specifically. And we got a flabbergastingly huge response. I'm going to go ahead and take the first one. Starts out, yo, Fin Bros. It's been a while since I chimed in. Raven, welcome back. Hey, editor's note, feels good to be back. This show is missing your irreverent humor and its non-innocuous nature. Well, thank you again. Replying to the FINteresting conversation to episode 129, I could swear you guys already used these FINteresting conversation
sure
topics
did.
in a
I knew we
previous
did.
episode.
Oh well, it's always worth repeating.
Listen, it's just we invest so much, it'd really be a waste to not get, the most mileage out of each one.
I'm sure
The
we'll use
most-
it again someday.
The most dangerous villain and the Malcolm team-up question. Anyway, I'd say Fin Fang Foom would make for an interesting appearance, and how about a crossover with Dragon Ball Z? I'm seeing this having flipped through issue 269, and I was floored. What a great issue. Crazy pervy mouse, reappearance of the classic Larsen sea monster, and all-out action characteristic of this book. Solid A. But notice not an A+.
Or triple S.
I know, dude. Fail. Looking forward to hearing you guys reviewing it. P.S. I know it's not Dragon related, but I was interested in knowing if any of you played the latest Zelda Tears of the Kingdom on Nintendo Switch. What a game. Ultra Hand and Fuse are effing incredible play mechanics. Your fellow Finbro, Tony Michelandra.
Raven, did
Tony
you,
M.
did
thanks
you play
for
Zelda?
writing. I think there's two of us here that we saved Hyrule. Am I right?
No. Well,
Yeah, I recently got back into it, and I'm trying to clear out all my side quests that I avoided last time.
Yeah, I am also in side quest mode.
I have decided I do not like open world Zelda. I have not touched Tears of the Kingdom because I bounced so hard off of Breath of the Wild.
Well, that's okay.
Not for me. It has all the same problems as Skyrim for me at the end of the day.
In the name of not having this be a 3-hour show, I will not reply. But I will say this. Tony M., I played Tears of the Kingdom and fucking loved it. You're 100% right. What a game. Just absolutely incredible. And I was shocked that a game that would take place in the exact same map would be worth a damn at all. But, like, they really just blew it out of the water by switching shit up. It's absolutely the Majora's Mask to Ocarina of Time. You got that same level of, okay, we're using the same assets, but we're going to polish this shit up and really give you something fresh and different. And, yes, I have done damn near everything. I'm not getting those goddamn golden seeds. And I am, however, like mopping up my quest log. As of this recording, only 30 to go, baby. Mark, where you at?
I will say, as someone who is not a gamer at all, I really liked it. I've played maybe before this the original Zelda and the second Zelda from like the old NES system.
Wow.
I don't know anything about any Ocarinas of Times.
Whoa.
I don't know anything about all that stuff. I never grew up as a gamer, but
Okay.
we got this. I really liked it. People are saying if you like this, you'll like this other game. Not interested. I don't want to play another video game where I spend 1,000 hours of my life trying to find a fucking Korok seeds. But
Yeah.
Well, you're not
I
supposed to
had
find
a lot
them
of fun
all.
with it.
You're not supposed to.
Dude, Mark fucking found 998.
Jesus.
On the first one, yeah.
On the first one, he almost found every single fucking one.
I was so close. I don't think I'm going to try that on this one. But,
no.
Don't. You're not
clearing out the
supposed to.
side quests.
They give you more than you need, so
Why?
you don't have to go find them.
But they're out there, Jim.
Yeah, they're out there.
I never got the completionist bug. I've never felt the need to do that kind of thing.
Well, I think it's different because you probably play more than one game in your life.
Well, that's true. I have
So-
played more than one game in my life.
So if it's like, if this is going to be the game I play, I'm going to finish it.
If you're like Craig
all
and
the
you're
way.
sitting here just hating this, just for the context, this is a game that like I spent 210 hours in the first game.
Jesus Christ.
And then and when I never do that. I don't have time in my life for that. I'm way the fuck too busy. Like there is not 210 hours in my life for any fucking entertainment. But I put it in the first game, and then the second game was like mostly rehash assets, and I was like, well, I won't spend as much time with this one since it's a lot of rehash. I can just zip around real quick and just do the, sort of main thing. 270 in the sequel. So, god damn it, dude. They're just very fun.
I'm halfway through my quest logs. I didn't really like Alchemy of Hijinks, and I stopped playing with Fruit of My Loins.
Which Alchemy of Hijinks are you on?
I only thought there was one. Is there more than one?
Alchemy of Hijinks Ultra.
I don't know. I moved on, and then like the Fruit of My Loins kind of sucked, and
Well, probably because you didn't get the DLC.
Oh,
Yeah, there's a motorcycle in Fruit of My Loins.
I think
DLC.
like I had to like get the package where I bought it early, and it came with a bunch of like free suits and some shields, and that's the only way you can really beat it, from what I understand.
Well,
They just released new skins for it, so you might want to take a look.
Oh shit!
yeah.
There's an M&M's collab that's coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, there's DLC now in Fruit of My Loins where you can basically, instead of having to play the game, you can just like pay real money and progress. Oh, so good.
Right.
Isn't like
I'm
the
so
crossover with Fortnite, and their skins are coming on it too, and
Yep.
Yeah, you can be Gargamel from the Smurfs.
Yeah.
Gargamel. Oh, sweet. Is Azrael in there?
Not yet.
God damn it.
yeah. So not for me. Sorry, guys.
That's cool.
Well, thank
I
you,
think
Tony.
that's we had another letter, I believe.
2?
Yeah, we had 2. This one says, "Hey y'all."
I'm sure that is not how it was said. I'm sure.
Hey y'all. Well, how do you think it would be said?
Hey, y'all.
All right. That's probably
That's gonna be
But
rough
the rest
to
of it,
read that letter in that voice.
I'm going to choose not to do that. It says, "Hey y'all. First off, I am glad that the podcast is getting some new blood. I'm sure that this Raven fellow will be fine recurring guest, joking aside. Welcome back, Raven."
Thanks, man.
We're all excited to have Raven back, everybody here. A one-shot crossover that I would like to see is one where Dragon Kids with Rita Gearbox teaming up with Erica Slaughter from Something is Killing the Children to take down one of Madeline's nightmare creatures. That would be interesting. The kids have already gone on a magical adventure before. This would be the same, but with much more darker vibes. Once again, glad to see Raven back, and also Craig, liking Ted Nugent, but not Sublime. That explains a lot. JK. I don't know what JK stands for, but
Rolling.
Just kidding.
probably something very... Keep up the awesome
Jesus
work,
is
guys.
king.
Andres R. is the name that is signed here.
It's Andre
Andreas.
Reyes. Yep.
Well, sorry, guys. I don't even know how to say y'all.
Hey, y'all.
Hey y'all.
Hey, y'all.
I like your voice got all like high.
Y'all.
Hey
It
y'all.
did.
Hey y'all.
That's the only way I've ever heard anybody say y'all in my life, was from a sweet southern young lady. So
That's a lie. DMX, y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here, up in here.
well, I've heard it now. Yeah. So Andre, sorry, I don't know what Something is Killing the Children.
It's an
I've never read
image
that.
book, but I don't know much about it.
Any main character named Erica Slaughter has my interest. I mean, that's instantly cooler than 90% of the protagonist names I've ever heard. So, doesn't that letter kind of make you want to read Something is Killing the Children?
I'm going to get right on it.
I mean,
I
it does
did-
me.
I did want to read it, but then like I don't know, it sounds like I got on too late, and I didn't feel like buying all the back issues.
That's the problem. It's been going for a while. Right? I'm not even sure if it's over yet.
Are you? Wait a minute. After
how many
we
issues
literally just busted people's balls for saying that there's too many. It's fucking 30. We're over here. Hold on. We are like one letter ago being like 30 years of comics. That's not too much. And now here you are being like, oh goddamn, 1 year. Oh. Okay, Craig.
Oh
You
no,
Ted
it
Nugent
is.
loving-
It is still ongoing.
Something is still
it's-
killing the children.
Yeah.
Something else is now killing the children.
The children are continuing to be killed.
There's too many
No,
choices.
I don't know what it is. It sounds great. I don't read comics, but
It's too many
I
new
hope you get your
90s
wish.
rehash books coming out.
Right.
There's not enough room.
But also, you're absolutely right about Craig, and I think he has some answering to do, and I think he owes the listeners
What's
an
that?
explanation.
Ted Nugent versus Sublime?
Yeah.
I do not like Ted Nugent as a person. I like a couple of his albums from the 70s.
Craig's got
I
cat
cannot
scratch
stand-
fever.
That is a good album. I do have that on vinyl. I cannot stand Sublime.
But the opposite, I think, is true, where you love the bandmates as people. You just don't like their music.
Sublime? I don't.
Sure.
And I don't know anything about them.
I think so.
All right, asked and
Although
answered.
I
There we
have
go.
seen them live.
I
when the
think
guy was
they're
still
actually
alive.
coming. I think they're coming to Foxwoods sometime this month. Is it Sublime?
Probably. I saw them in 1995 at the Warped Tour.
It was 1992, and tell me, where were you? I was at the Warp Tour, listening to Ted New.
He was a gent.
Horrible.
Oh,
Simply
yeah, it is
horrible.
Sublime on the 19th.
Well, Jim, if
With
you
it's
want to
It's
hear,
like one guy left.
They're on their farewell tour. It's apparently the
it's time.
They weren't.
it's-
They weren't done when the singer songwriter died.
No, that's when
20
that's
years
the
ago.
tragedy. He died, and then they blew up. It's like the worst luck you could ever have. Oh, we won't do this again. Listen, it's time for new FINteresting conversation, Craig.
All right. Let's. Interesting conversation. This is the bit where we come up with a question and we will discuss a little bit, and then we'll give you, the listener, the ability to write in and tell us what you think, or supply us with a new FINteresting conversation question. You can write in at savagefincast@gmail.com. And for this month's conversation, after many hours with our focus group, we narrowed it down to this question. Should Savage Dragon do away with the explicit sex in the book? How do you guys feel? Do you feel like we've had enough time to move on? Do you feel like keep it coming? No pun intended.
We already know Raven's answer, so there's no reason to hear from him.
I know, dude. I know. I feel like I've given a I've given a TED talk on this. I will shut up and let you guys talk.
Then I'll go, I guess. I feel like it's balanced pretty well at this point. I really wouldn't change anything about what's going on right now. I don't think I need more of it, but I think the rate that it's coming out now is fine. It's the book has always been sexy. It's made for adults. We're all adults. We can handle it. I don't want to see it become a wall-to-wall fuck page, fuck book, but anything like that. But a little sprinkled in here and there, every couple issues, every issue, it's fine.
I guess playing
that's it.
devil's advocate and to be more FINteresting about this, do you think though that when we ask and listener, interpret this how you will, but when we ask this, not only am I asking for your opinion, but when we say should Savage Dragon do away with its explicit sex, Mark, do you think, as someone who finds it not to be a problem in its current state, do you think that the book would benefit, like, fucking marketability from, like, getting rid of it? Like, is it a thing that should happen, like, for the health of the book? Like, if we get rid of the sex, can all the nephews of the world suddenly start reading this book again?
There was a long time where we weren't getting graphic sex, and no one was reading it.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think a lot more people are talking about it now. They're talking shit, but at least they're talking about the book, you right?
Right.
No, I don't think that it'll benefit one way or the other.
Correct.
Well,
Jim, it sounds like.
you got on.
Yeah.
Well, my general opinion is it doesn't bother me enough to say it should not be in the book. I will say this: I have been slightly annoyed with how female-centric a lot of the sex focuses.
Okay.
Showing vaginas, toplessness, that kind of thing, and we
Yeah.
only ever see monster dongs.
Yeah.
I think there isn't enough equal opportunity here, and I think that actually is a problem.
Yeah, no,
I will say that's a very good point.
I'll agree. I'll totally agree.
Let's see some balls.
I mean, we see lots of
fucking
male
balls.
bare asses. I mean, I'll give it that much.
No,
Yeah.
I'll agree. I think that is absolutely a valid criticism, is that, like, listen, if you're going to have your female heroes falling out of your, obviously, listen, I would never ask anybody to, it's not a commercial product, like a mainstream commercial product. It is a cartoonist's, just passion project / vanity book, whatever you want to call it. So I would never ask an artist to go against their, sexuality in terms of what they want to focus on or whatever else. That being said, understand that creates baggage. Like, you have baggage when you only focus on, your lady characters and you don't focus on any of your dude characters. It creates baggage.
Yeah, that's my only real criticism of the whole situation.
I think for me, well, first thing is once Erik stops doing what he wants and listens to the readers, then the book's in trouble. Like, honestly, like, I don't think, hopefully nothing ever influences what he does. And I appreciate that about Savage Dragon, even if I disagree or don't enjoy certain aspects as much as others. Like, the biggest thing I enjoy is that this fucking lunatic's just doing whatever he wants to do,
Fuck yeah.
issue to issue, and you never know what you're going to get. That is like one of the biggest selling points of the book for me at this point. But I'm just kind of like, I'm over it in a way. Like, I feel the biggest thing for me is that a lot of this stuff is like sexual assault, like that's happening recently. And I'm like, I don't really have a taste for that. Like, it's just, if it was just silly, like sex bullshit, like, Maxine getting blasted with jizz across the room, that's fine. The stuff with like the giant like demon Cockk and that rape scene thing, and what's happening in this issue, which we'll talk about, and Glum kind of basically having his way with the Angel without her knowing. That's the kind of, I don't know. I just don't have it just turns me off. I don't really
agree. Using sexual assault as like superhero peril, I think, is problematic in some respects. I understand like the reasoning of it and how, and we've read enough of it at this point to see how it works in the comic. It's just these are not realistic like reactions to those sorts of things. These are like superheroes would do in other non-sexual situations of a similar nature.
Right.
Everyone's resilient to a certain degree.
If it happens once, it's shocking, and it's just happening too much to me. I don't know. Like, these 3 times, it's just, I don't know. I'm like, can we just move on from this type of?
So I'm actually really thankful that you brought that up, because that does lend itself to frankly, I think the only new thing that I could possibly contribute on my viewpoint on the subject. You all know I'm pro the sex. You all know I'm pro, like, You want to do upskirts and cum shots and all that stuff, fucking A, do it. But like, I feel like the only thing new I have to say on this is to just agree with what Craig's saying, which is to say there is now been enough sexual assault in the book that I do think that it's I can say something that I haven't said in the past, which is, okay, like, if you're going to have that in the book, understand that you're taking the reader to an uncomfortable place. It really doesn't often have any real good entertainment value. Like, when no one wants to see Maxine get assaulted, right?
Right.
And, like, once is like, okay, like you said, like, that's superhero peril. And it's like, okay, that is interesting because you never did it. But, like, if it keeps happening, then again you have created a situation where you are just having this book where the female characters encounter this sexual violence all the time, the male characters don't. And it's just like, that has unintended consequences. Like, whether you mean them or not, it had the consequences and the baggage exist. And at that point, I think the point the book's at is that you've had enough sexual assault in the book that it's like, okay, you either got to, step away from it because you've covered it enough. There's not a new wrinkle to it. Or you got to start being more even-handed with it and have some characters who are male also experience sexual assault.
And it's all focused on the same character. It's like Maxine, like how, like it's like.
Well, Angel too.
Yeah,
Angel has gotten it too, especially now with the glum stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Angel's gotten it too, and it's kind of like.
And remember the Bully Boys? I mean, I think they all got attacked in Dimension X by those guys.
Yeah.
Her and Alex and Jennifer.
True.
Right. So again, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, like at this point, I feel that's the new thing that I have to say, which is, it's like, look, for me, if you're going to tackle uncomfortable subjects, fine. I don't have a problem. Like, if you want to put something in the book that's challenging or uncomfortable, okay. Even if it's in your entertainment, it's not always meant to be. When bad things happen to characters you like, it's not meant to be like, oh, look at Maxine, she's getting assaulted again, haha. That's really not what it is. You are supposed to dislike it. But unfortunately, we have had enough at this point to where it's like, not only do I dislike it because it's happening to a character I like, but also I kind of feel like, wasn't there something else you could have done?
Well, we could talk about it a little bit here and go into more detail when we review the issue.
Yeah, I mean, it is relevant to the issue.
Yeah,
right.
I do feel like, and without going into details, because we'll go in a little later, I feel like the same thing could have been done to make Mickey Mouse a kind of a unliked character other than what he did in this issue.
Right.
Like, there's other ways to do it, but we'll talk about that more.
Well, I think the Mickey Mouse stuff offers an interesting contrast, which we'll get to when we talk about the scene.
Right. I was just generalizing. I think that's the only thing new that everyone knows how I feel. But, like, the only thing new I have to say is, again, just to agree with you, Craig, that it's like, look, at a point, you have to realize the volume of what you've done. And it may honestly be too much at this point. Seems to happen enough that we all feel. Do we all generally feel like sure has been a lot, Sure has been a lot of assault lately,
I know I feel that way.
I feel that way. I feel like if you're going to do something, like have one of the fucking Johnson twins get assaulted or something, it would be different.
But, can we just step away from it? Do we have to keep doing it? Like, I don't know. We went, like, how many issues without that? And now it's just, like, so much. It's, like, not so much, but it's just more than enough for me. Like, once in a great while something like that happens, fine. But it's, like, I don't know.
No, you're putting your finger on it, is that it's like, okay, if it's going to happen, it's like, don't have it happen. It's the same reason why you can't have the, Kerr killing the entire human race every week, like every few years. It wouldn't have the
shock
impact.
value. Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't have the impact. And so it's like at this point, like, you know, when things happen, it's just like, oh, this again. And it's really, it's not like, oh no. Like the first time that shit happened to Maxine, it was like, oh no. Now it seems like it's pretty frequent, and it's just like, eh.
Now, do you think that there could be, I mean, obviously I don't know what's going to happen in the next couple issues, but it's been building up to, a lot of the sex has been silly and goofy and ridiculous, and now we're getting all the sexual assault, and it's been building up to something disastrous is happening, and now this will be the end of it? Could you see that being some kind of finale to all the sex?
I don't think so.
I don't think it is.
No, I mean,
I don't think Erik plans that far ahead, honestly. I think whatever strikes his fancy at the time.
But I mean, sex has always been part of the book. And,
it sure has.
You know,
absolutely.
It's just now you see everything pretty much.
So I don't
see Erik being like, I want to cut that all out.
I got a fellow wrestling fan on the show with me now, and this may seem like it doesn't tie, but it does. I think, Mark, you can remember this has been talked about. There was lots of sexiness in the Attitude Era. And then they did a storyline where, like, one of the characters had a miscarriage. And, like, there was a fight in the writer's room. Because, like, the writers were like, dude, this is not, like, entertainment. Like, all you're going to do is upset people. Right. Like, anybody that had to deal with, like, a miscarriage in their life is not going to find this entertaining. They're going to be, like, you know, disgusted. They're going to tune out. Like, they're not going to like it. And it's kind of like when we talk about, like, when the question is posed in this FINteresting conversation, like, should the book quit the explicit sex? It's like, I don't think the book should quit the explicit sex, but, like, just realize maybe what is and is not entertaining.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And I agree with you. I think as far as the sex goes, bring it on. Rapes, I think I agree with Craig. We've seen enough, unless you want to start raping the Johnson twins, which is exactly what Craig said, and you can quote him on that.
Jesus Christ.
All right. Let's leave something for our FINteresting conversation answers to answer.
I agree. I think we've
gone pretty in depth on this topic, so hopefully people have the opinions of their own.
Yeah.
I'm going to be run out of town for that and liking Ted Nugent. Damn it.
Sorry. Listeners, I'm just busting Craig's balls because I know he can take it. And I know you guys get the joke. So please, I don't want to have to explain it again. Everything I say is a joke.
Would you guys say that perhaps DoorDash has come rolling down that old dusty trail, and what do they have in their hand? Why, it looks like meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes.
Smells like... I smell the meat. Are there potatoes too?
Yeah. They're overwhelmed by the meat.
Well, let's dig in.
Yeah. And frankly, what a sumptuous feast this issue was.
Certainly a lot going on.
Yeah. I mean, like, we didn't even start where we like to start. These covers, baby. It's a good-ass cover.
You love a good group shot with people running at you. It's always you're going to have a good time.
I always love the
Did anybody else
cityscapes
get
of the dirt roads.
Did everybody else get the Walking Dead variants?
No.
Yeah.
I did not, but I wanted to.
They are beautiful.
Reminding me, Walking Dead's 20 years old. Why are you doing this to me?
Yeah, I feel like the math on that has to be wrong.
Right?
Yeah, it is fucked up.
Fucking Carl. Goddamn Carl and Zombie Malcolm.
Now, if I remember right, Erik forgot that he had to do a Walking Dead cover?
Right.
I think everyone was doing one, and I guess he was supposed to or said he would, and...
It was solicited, and someone was like, what's this other cover? And he's like, I'm not doing another cover. And people are like, oh, yeah, there's The Walking Dead. He's like, oh, see doodle.
I'll be honest, when I first saw this cover, I thought it would have looked a little cooler if it was like Jack holding the gun or Amy holding the gun.
Right.
Instead of Carl.
Yeah, but then it would be nothing to do with The Walking Dead.
Right.
I mean, it would look like The Walking Dead. I mean...
I haven't seen the other Walking Dead covers. Do they have the other Walking Dead characters on, or are they just zombie?
I'll be honest, I haven't seen any of them myself.
I think
I
I
haven't seen it.
actually. I think I got the Radiant Black one, which is like a bunch of. Let's see. Pretty sure
I think
got
it's
it.
cool because, like, you know, we get to see Carl and zombie Malcolm, and man, what's not to love? Like this,
And also, this cover is canon. It's in continuity now.
yeah.
Dragon is in The Walking Dead.
Malcolm fucking got blasted by Carl.
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 Coral.
Carl.
Yeah, so Radiant Black, all those like massive verse things, all they have like 4 covers that link together, and they're pretty cool. They're like fighting side by side with the Walking Dead characters against zombies.
Oh, they're using the two issue gimmick they're doing to do a double page spread thing. Okay, that is kind of
Yeah,
neat.
they also have it connected to No One and Dead Lucky too.
Oh,
But then it's also, if you've got a chance to do a crossover on your cover, you got to take advantage, right?
Yeah. Big time.
I don't know. I've always been a bigger fan of tone covers, where you like
Explain.
Do you think this-
reinterpret your characters in the tone of the thing you're referencing. I think Erik's art style here, with it being all chunky and Malcolm being a zombie, that would have been enough to read as Walking Dead to me.
So I guess the question you got to ask is, who do you think really wins this exchange? I mean, it's Malcolm,
well,
right?
Right.
We know that this is the only time that they've crossed over, so...
I guess what I'm asking is, can a superhero...
Carl lives on.
Yeah, can a superhero kill a child? That's what I'm asking.
Well, he
Zombie
did.
superhero again.
Yeah.
I just love all the chunky inks, and I don't know, just
Yeah, in person, like, you can really get close and see all the weird textures and brushes and stuff that he used.
I like the open line
And
look
also
of
really cool.
Carl, in contrast.
and for me, the purple background does it for me.
Huh. I'm more into the red.
Yeah, I got the red one. I didn't have a choice, but I got the red one.
Yeah, I like the red one a little bit better than the purple one, but I do think the purple one's cool.
I kind of like that.
Malcolm in a red shade.
See, I just because Walking Dead to me in my head is black and white, the fact that Carl and Dragon and Malcolm are black and white, I think just
Makes
works
sense.
better for me.
Now, was that a conscious decision, or was that a deadline decision, do you think?
I don't know, whatever. I mean, you got to work within your limitations, and you make art.
Right.
It works for me.
No, it looks good, and there's no zombies in this book.
No, what we have are fish. We have fishmen and
Yes.
women from the sea with lips, much like fish.
I gotta admit, I'm a little disappointed that Savage Dragon didn't get the 20-year, 30-year treatment with like covers on other books.
Yeah, dude. It never seems to fail that, like, goddamn Spawn hits a milestone and every Image book has Spawn on the cover. Fucking DC books had Spawn on the cover. Fucking, you know, and then, like, Savage Dragon hits a milestone and, like, it's only ever reflected in Savage Dragon.
I mean,
Well, they celebrated just the Image anniversary, right?
Yeah.
right, didn't Erik do a bunch of covers or something? He did an Astro City cover, and he did a Killadelphia cover, and he did another one I can't remember.
He did the Geiger.
It's like
Geiger,
Did
right? Yeah, he did a whole.
what's the Kirkman one? Firepower.
Yeah.
Is that-
Firepower.
Yeah, he did a whole.
crossover.
He did a whole
crossover.
bunch.
Yep,
Of course, he
crossover.
did those ones himself. I'm trying to remember what they were
Fairyland.
for. If they were for an anniversary or for Image.
No,
Or...
no. He was just they were. You know, he would do one in exchange for the artist doing a variant on his.
Oh, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
That's how it felt, is it felt like an art trade.
Except for like I think Firepower was like the 25th issue, so they had like a bunch of art. You know, Kirkman asked a bunch of artists to do it. Variants. But yeah, other than that, it wasn't
Guys.
anything dragon related.
Ken Albury called these guys the Vicious Circle. And don't you think that's a little bit better than the Vicious Fishes?
I don't know. I think Vicious Fishes is very fun to say.
It is.
It is
Yeah,
good.
I kind of like that better.
They're both good. I love it.
How do you feel about not Mako here in the front?
Right? What is this guy?
It was, yeah, I
It's
opened
like a
the book
tuna.
and it was like a half a second. I was like, hey, it's... Oh, nope. Never mind.
It's like tuna. What do they call him? He's like holy mackerel or something. I don't know. Salmon.
Well, no,
day.
there's Holly Mackerel.
Oh,
Yeah, they all seem to have names.
salmon day. I mean, big fish.
Salmon
That
day.
guy showed up before.
It was at 59, I think.
Is Big Fish the one with the lips?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the purple
The
guy.
striped pants. That guy's fucking
Yeah.
great.
He actually was drawn in one of like Eric's early books, wasn't he, Mark? Like, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't think it was ever published, though. It was some pencils that he did that were never... I don't even think they were inked. They showed up in... Maybe it was the Dragon Archives miniseries.
Yeah. And then
Where he was reprinting all that black and white stuff. And then he redid it. He redrew them.
right in 59.
I think it was 59.
it is. It is. I looked it up.
Okay.
Big Fish skipped leg day.
Well, he's a fish.
He swims with his arms.
Yep.
Well, I didn't expect logic to come into this.
He doesn't kick when he's swimming.
I also appreciate a master class in kicking ass. It's quality. That's quality stuff.
I just like that these guys have some kind of supervillain attire.
And they all
Always
look
a plus.
different, too.
Yeah.
It's not just 15
Fish.
very
guys.
similar looking fish people.
Right.
An army, but they all have their own looks and colors and apparently names. I don't know. Are these their real names, or are these just what they're calling them? Holy mackerel and
I assumed it was
Day.
their real name, but I don't
I feel
know.
like they just met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would gather that it was like quips, but I appreciate too, like just the like green dude, or not dude. There's big old pair of tits. I appreciate the green chick in the back that's getting like hit in the face
Right.
with the webbing, like the little like aquatic like pattern that Eric did up on the legs and stuff. That's so good.
Yeah.
You see it on the
So
initial
nice.
splash page too. But like, man, that's nice stuff. That's good.
Well,
inking.
she looks more like a frog. She's got frog feet.
But
That's
lots
kind
of good
a
stuff.
Frog patterning.
Like, how the fuck did we make it 30 years without a Fishman team?
I mean, we had Mako, and we've had the Atlantean, and usually when the Atlantean comes along, they all blow up from the
Fair.
water pressure. So we've had aquatic characters before. They are visually interesting, and I do think like really establishing like a new like monster group for the West Coast is a good idea. Since we've had previously we've had like Uglies Unlimited and like the Demonoids and the various other Chicago and Toronto based creature groups.
Right. Yeah, no, that's what I was like. The awesome thing is like, they move back to the States and instantly you get like new groups of bad guys and new problems. And I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, of course. Like, you're in a completely different city. Like, let's bring on the new threats, the new problems.
I guess Eric's just done hiding the whole wall crawler, web slinger action.
Yeah, it's great. It's so it's so explicit. There's no peekaboo to it at all. Which I fucking love, dude. Like, we did that Austin Powers shit with their mom for so long.
Yep.
And it's like, dude, this book's 30 years old now. It's like, we don't have to hide that.
I tell you what, one thing I do hope for as these issues go on and we start seeing more is I hope to get more of a personality out of like Mark and Peter Johnson. I hope they become like more distinct.
I think that's a very tall order, Craig. I don't see that happening.
Why not?
But it's a fair request, though. If they're going to be sticking around for as long as it looks like they're going to be.
I mean, think about like the old SOS team. Everybody had such a like good personality, like Barbaric, Killcat,
Freak Force,
and what's that?
Freak Force too.
Oh yeah, Freak Force too. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, they all had like real specific personalities. I feel like, Mark and Peter just, I don't know, they're kind of bland.
It's when it's SOS, there's a bunch of guys. It makes sense you're not going to get to know all of them, but this seems like a pretty tight knit group, and they've known each other since they were kids.
Yeah, and the other thing is, 4 of them are twins.
Right.
So,
Right. So wait, you're saying twins don't have distinct personalities?
Yeah, what are you saying?
Not in Savage Dragon. I'll tell you that much.
Do you realize every person you made mad, you can double it?
And to be fair, Janny isn't even a twin. They're doppelgangers from different universes.
Yeah,
so they're even closer related.
And they share the same memories, right? So.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say though, like Webcrawler and Webslinger are Wall Crawler and Webslinger are fantastic fucking names. The poses, dude, on these two, you can tell Erik's like the goddamn Spider-Man, like he's got the Spider-Man shit down, dude. The panel specifically, where it's like featuring them as they say their names while he's like Malcolm's above them, shocking that dude's thigh. It's like,
right.
It's like, dude, what a panel, man. That shit is fire.
Yeah.
The art all around, I think, on these looks great. This action.
Yeah, he's doing Twice Up too, so.
Oh, is that what's
details.
going on?
I'm pretty sure he's back to Twice Up. He's been talking about it on Facebook.
Yeah, I felt like the art in this issue was top notch.
Yeah.
The page after the splash was amazing. The one where like Malcolm's getting punched by the fish.
Yeah, we have the power.
Yeah, that like the middle panel with the speed lines, like, I mean everything, like the inking, like the little scratchy kind of thin inks, but like with the thick outline
like around his hand.
Yes, amazing, amazing.
And even there's like those little sponging or dry brushing in her Angel's hair on that last panel too.
Yeah. But even like in the fish on that top panel, he's kind of like inked scratchy, but it really like kind of portrays kind of like motion,
Yeah. Yeah, totally, dude. I 100% agree. Like the brushwork on Malcolm's hands, like where you can see those big scratchy strokes. That shit's fire.
Yeah. And I totally love that he brought back these 90s panels where you get like the scratchy panel and you get like the weird pink border panel and then you just get the kind of open full bleed. So good.
This is top-notch action stuff right here. I mean, and nobody does, I think, besides Daniel Warren Johnson, I don't think anybody can do action comics like this anymore.
I think that it's a lost art. Like, there's too many motherfuckers that want to decompress everything. And it's like, here you have an issue that opens with a short action sequence. I mean, it's just a few pages. But, like, man, there's just so much, like, it is a masterclass in kicking ass. Because, like, dude, there's just so much fighting that happens in these just few pages. And every bit of it's just fucking awesome. Like, tons of killer poses, tons of, like, yo, bros, I never miss a chance to shit on Jim Lee. Like, I just want to say that, like, and I know that seems like that comes out of nowhere, but, like, check it out. Here's the thing. So, like, I was looking at, people were like, somebody was like, oh my God, Jim Lee's the GOAT. And it's like he had put up a picture that he had drawn of Asterix and Obelix, like, those famous Euro characters.
I saw that. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, it's horrible, and like everything Jim Lee draws is fucking goddamn the dude standing straight on a flat surface.
It's like, let's try to make them look realistic too. Like, take everything fun about what the characters look like and try to make them look real.
Did you see Jim Lee has opened himself up for commissions for the first time in a while? He's charging
I did. I saw those prices.
$35,000.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yep, $35,000 for a Jim
No.
Lee commission.
I will buy 35,000 tacos first. I don't give a fuck. That not worth it. The reason I brought that up wasn't just to randomly shit on Jim Lee. I'm just saying, look at all the different poses. Look at all these.
It was
different...
randomly.
It was not random. Look at all the different poses that Erik has crammed in just this initial opening action sequence. And I'm saying there's like more posing and moving of the camera than Jim Lee's entire career. Like, it's fucking crazy, man. Hello?
Hello, yes.
Yeah. Sorry, I was looking at the pages and I got distracted by how cool they looked.
Yeah, no, sorry.
There are other artists that can do this, but I'll be goddamn if one doesn't come to mind immediately.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying is just look at all the figures. I'm saying, like, look at all the figures across these pages. And I'm saying that, like, dude, you would have, even with Clip Studio, which allows you to take 3D models and pose them and literally throw a layer over top of them and draw over it. And you're still, even with a tool that powerful, you're not going to find a lot of comic artists that move the goddamn camera around and have this much,
That's it right there. Just
that's it.
How many artists don't move the camera around enough?
Yeah.
And just by doing that, even in stuff that might not be as exciting, it may, how many times do we talk about like simple conversations that he has in the book, but because you're seeing it from all different angles, it makes it that much better.
Yeah. I mean, the way.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that he always makes the talking head stuff look good. And comparing it to, I always use like Invincible as a comparison. Like the talking heads in that book is always just fucking talking heads. It's
Straight
literally
on.
just little boxes of heads
Yeah.
talking, and they're boring.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Otley and the other one, Walker. I mean, they're great artists, but they
nothing against them.
They definitely have their shortcuts and their stock standard like stuff, like the talking heads. And when things get exciting, they look exciting. But when things aren't exciting, it isn't the most exciting.
And I don't know if that's coming from Kirkman, because I know he used to do layouts.
Right.
When he first started doing writing, and I don't know what his,
but at some point, man, if you're Otley, you're not gonna,
you're not gonna listen to some writer.
Kirkman trusts you just to go ahead with it.
Yeah.
I think at a certain point he did, but I don't know if he was just trying to stick to the style that was established in the book early on.
Yeah.
But in any case, there's no boring pages in a Savage Dragon book.
How about this plot twist? Motivation for these guys. How'd that land with you guys? Yeah,
that was awesome. I mean, he could have just went for the same old, and it was like, what? Wait, what? That's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, no, dude. I laughed out loud. I literally LOL'd, like fucking alone reading this book, like laughing like an idiot. That shit was it was great. I was like, this.
That's one of those classic Dragon things too, where it looks like it's going to be the boring
trope,
comic books trope, and then it spins it on its head and the complete opposite. Oh, they love the toxic shit and they want more pollution,
more waste.
Yeah.
How else are they going to increase their numbers?
Yeah, it was great.
It's good, dude. Their ranks are thinning, so I guess at least in Savage Dragon, the planet's getting cleaner.
Oh,
let's go, Brandon.
Detonated a nuclear bomb in quite a while.
How do you guys feel about this screen-toned city backdrop in that panel?
Oh, I only just noticed it.
I love it. What a weird little random. Just to drop
Applebee's.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that Applebee's? Like, that's what I was gonna ask you. Is there like an Applebee's building in San Francisco?
It's their corporate offices, maybe.
All of a sudden, Mark Johnson looks like he's 13.
Oh yeah, he does look really young. Yeah.
It's a good angle for him.
Whereas his brother does not.
His brother looks like he got his face smushed.
At birth. No, dude, and also, like, how fucking hilarious. Like, Malcolm said, just so funny that he put in the panel that I was just like, God damn, they are really gooing these guys up.
Yeah, he's like, how much you got in you?
Dude, so funny. We could
that's
show
fucking
you.
gross.
He's like, nah.
He's got the web just still hanging out of it.
Right. So good, dude.
It is funny that, you know, it's like, yeah, it's a spider. That's kind of where it would probably come out if you got spider powers, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
Oh.
And then Angel's titties are popping out here, too.
Yeah, see those pepperonis?
Yeah, I thought that was a funny gag. Like, that's the thing. Like, when we're talking about, like, sex in the book, it's like, yeah, no, dude. Savage Dragon was the first book where I saw a superhero get strangled with his own cape.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, of course there's going to be, like, a panel where someone's, like, tops popping out.
I mean, of course you're going to wear, like, a strapless, like, top with when you're, like, super busty. Of course, you know, your tits are going to pop out while you're fighting.
It's just going to happen.
Like, why would you wear that? If you were,
Right.
like... If your job was to fight supervillains.
Perhaps
That's the funny wink, wink, nudge, right?
perhaps the most shocking thing is that Angel apparently fairly happy with the new Frank.
Yeah.
Like, no complaints, 10 out of 10. Everything's cool.
It does seem like they've only spent their honeymoon together at this point, though. Because she's here and he's in Chicago.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe I'm forgetting, but why did she go ahead and leave him behind? Was he just there to finish up his casework or what?
Probably. He's probably had to do his whole deal, get things settled.
Yeah.
And she has to be
Yeah,
out here for the
he's-
SOS missions.
Okay, so it's
He's
not a
wrapping up.
scene.
He's resigning, and
It's not a scene I missed in the last issue.
No, I mean, last issue, they...
I think they mentioned something, but I could be wrong.
Right, they were having their honeymoon, and then Angel mentioned his kid, and, like, Glum Frank freaked out about it.
Okay.
That was the last we saw of him.
Hey, you know what? Eagle-eyed Savage Dragon Super Sleuths, Craig and Mark. Am I remembering correctly? Is the tiny cop in the background on the left of the chief, Captain Stewart? That is a guy, isn't it? Like, isn't that a regular, like, recurring cop? Like,
I don't think so.
I know the guy on the
He
right
looks-
is with the blonde mustache.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I think you even in the background you see Amy, like She-Dragon. Like, isn't
Right.
that her sitting down?
Is that her? I don't know.
I mean, she's blonde. It could be.
It's possible.
I was just thinking these were not mere throwaway.
Okay.
cops.
I think you're right, and we get a better look at them.
looks
in
like
this-
Robin's-
We get a better look at them in the next page. They're the ones holding Frank Glum back.
Right. Yeah, I've definitely seen those two before.
I'm pretty sure they're like a couple of guys who kind of show up with Malcolm at various times back when
Yeah.
he was a cop.
We've definitely seen them before. I know we've seen the blonde guy, and I'm pretty sure the black guy we've seen.
What about goddamn Dick Tasty? What a fucker.
I didn't expect to see him back. It's like, holy shit.
And that was a long bomb payoff. Like,
For
we
him,
were kind of...
yeah.
I was kind of like busting this book's balls for not having payoffs. Dude, do you realize the last time we saw Dick Tasty, the world was in lockdown?
Yeah. Just tossing his fucking hot coffee on him like a jerk.
What a bigot! Like, over
Dropping
the top.
the N-word. Whoa.
Yeah. How do you feel about the N-word here? I mean, it's in character.
Yeah, it's a little weird to see him, but I mean, I don't know.
I feel
I don't
like
think
he's
it's-
a bigot and he instantly gets his. And so it's like, yeah, it's not like he gets to use it and he's like, and then he's like the
They're not
hero.
glamorizing.
I do like that he throws out Super Freak. We don't hear that enough anymore as like a insult.
Yeah, your super freak wife. Yeah. Guys, and it took me a reread to realize it, and I feel slow. How about Frank gets mad and the coloring gets red?
Oh, did you just notice that?
Not just now, god damn it.
I was expecting him to glum out on the next
Yeah,
page.
so is that him just being like super angry, or is his skin actually turning red and he's like glumming
I
out?
think it's probably just a visual cue.
It's just he's just going glum.
His fucking eyes turn white.
Yeah, it's awesome.
He's just super pissed. The inner dictator has taken over.
That's it. The act has dropped.
Should have gave him those little like bolt lines on his forehead.
Lost
Lost
his nose.
And he's red again when he's like, not ever again. Like, so good.
Smashing his like skull to bits.
I think it's just when you would see Peter Parker with half of his face being a Spider-Man mask.
So,
but it's cool. Even his teeth are like Mr. Glum teeth.
Yeah. I mean, it's just kind of glum coming out. It's very cool visual cue. Do you think he has some kind of super strength that's kind of coming through or something?
No, I think he just got a lucky blow in. He just stunned Dick long enough to get his head punched in. I mean, that's probably a steel table.
Ram.
I mean, it's kind of like he definitely seemed like he fucked his shit up. Like, I guess we don't really know if he... Yeah. I mean, we don't know if he, like, fucking exploded his skull, but, like, goddamn, dude, like... He beat his ass to death.
Yeah. and yeah, that's probably unrealistic that a human being could, do that much damage that quickly before getting grabbed by a room full of cops. But I think in Savage Dragon, this kind of stuff happens all the time.
And do you think that this was enough to set him off to beat this guy's ass to death?
Well, it's Glum. I mean, he's got he's always had a temper, and he's always been quick to he's always been quick to violence, even though it's in his best interest not to. I mean, that's always kind of been his character, because he's killed people before for less.
I really do love like how he gave him like glum teeth and like just white eyes. Like he really it's glum. Like you can see his face. It's glum.
It's awesome. It's really awesome.
It's definitely a great visual, especially for the situation.
The inking, dude.
Well,
on the slam panel.
That fucking slam panel that looks familiar. Like we've seen similar before. The whole you see the path of the brain matter, and then the scratches that make all the lines.
All I know is that shockwave, like the shockwave coming off. Oh, that's so good.
Do you think this is a callback to something?
It feels like I feel like we've seen that visualization before of the shockwaves and the brain matter, the red.
I think it's just something similar. I don't think that it's like a callback quite as much as you might think.
If
any listeners spots what it could be, send in your cards and letters. And Craig will read them on the air. And he'll apologize to Jim.
I do like how like the back of his shirt is still like smoke, like the hot coffee is still
right.
Yeah.
Kind of
steaming,
yeah.
He's steaming mad. But also it's the coffee. Dude, it's awesome. Go ahead, Jim.
I was going to continue and say, I guess Frank got the viewing portal fixed.
Yeah, I think that this, honestly, this scenario that is set up here by this is just fantastic, because you have essentially like Glum has fucked up in the worst way that he could.
Right.
Because with Frank going to jail, he is a cop killer that is also just a fucking cop. So he's in prison. He has a goddamn target on his back from everyone. Every fucking buddy's gonna hate him. The prisoners, the cops. Like, fucking, he fucked up. Like, Glum fucked up in the worst possible way that he could.
And then Frank just had to sit and watch it all happen.
Yeah.
But this cop that's like got the very cartoony face. It cracks me up.
You killed him. Captain Tootsie's cousin.
So strange. If you showed me
Lieutenant
that panel
Tootsie.
in like 1993, I'd be like, what the fuck?
Right? Who's this red guy? Why does he look like that?
It's good though. Lots of good stuff. Just the inking's a visual feast. Like even the little shit like scratchies on Glum's feet where it doesn't have to be. You know, the screen tone around the viewing orb.
Yeah. I love the Glum faces, like in that second panel on that page where his face, like the teeth separate, like his lower jaw and his upper jaw. You know, it's like it's like an apple, like a
the wraparound teeth.
Yeah,
Like the Canadians from South Park.
yeah.
Oh Lord.
Speaking of cartoon faces,
This one threw me off. It was weird.
it's weird to see. It's weird to have her open mouth, small eye, shock face, like in so close proximity to her normal face.
Yeah,
Also, her head is kind of big, so it makes her body look kind of small.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's very strange.
but it really accentuates the cartoon character aspect of it, I think.
I love it. I don't have a problem with it. I think I'm not joking, dude. I think it's great. You want to have adult Angel do like child Angel cartoon face? I'm here for it.
It's weird though, because usually when they do that, it's like someone's reverting to like a childlike stage or something, and I don't know. I don't feel like it fit quite here, but I don't know.
I don't love it.
Am I the only one that liked it?
I don't know.
I'm not.
What?
Maybe.
Not a
What-
fan in this situation.
It is weird that it's on the same page with all these normal-looking faces.
Well, except for the one. Oh, you mean Angel? Yeah, on the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I know. It's just I like
And her establishing shot of all.
I like the situation
Panels,
though. I think Glum flying off the handle, causing this serious problem, is actually a totally Glum move. This is the kind of thing about Glum not being able to actually handle being Frank that I was talking about in earlier episodes.
Right.
He's just incapable. And then Angel is going to react this way because she doesn't really understand why he did it, only that he did it. And so she's going to be more frustrated with the situation as she is here. Maybe she should be more upset, I guess. It seems more like she's annoyed rather than like scared or angry about it.
Hey, he killed a guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is funny that we're getting like a Frank that's kind of got the Glum face, and we're getting an Angel like harking back to her young face, kind of like how they were kind of known, you know.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Okay. All right. I'll allow it. Good point.
Okay. I think it's time to have the conversation. Everyone. How cold?
Right.
How cold do
Great.
you think that nose is?
Oh man.
Jesus Christ. I don't know. I would imagine cartoons would be squishy and warm.
I'm not sure how to take Mickey as a cartoon character or fleshy homunculus.
So you're trying to ask us, do we think there's a thin layer of black fur, or is
Well,
he just
it's
some
an-
kind of?
It's an animal nose. They're usually cold to the touch. Yeah.
I'm imagining he's running pretty hot right now. Like he's hot and bothered, you know.
So we were talking about, sexual assault in Savage Dragon earlier, and I don't hate this because this feels more like standard Savage Dragon weirdness. It's more funny than like other situations like this because it's so ridiculous.
It's funny because it's Mickey Mouse, I think.
Right.
Well, I think that's where you can get a little bit of leeway, is that this whole scenario here is so fucking absurd. And, listen, okay, so, talking about copyright law, I think one of the things that allows you to get away with making a Winnie the Pooh horror movie, is that, it's nobody's ever going to fucking confuse that for a Disney product, right?
Right. Mickey doesn't act like this, so Mickey acting like this means it's not Mickey the Disney mouse.
Right. And so that's here we have Mickey the fucking rapist, apparently.
Yeah.
And it's you know what? I mean, okay. From a copyright standpoint, there's not a goddamn soul that's going to think, why would Disney allow this? It's they know it's just Erik doing his thing.
Right.
So, you get some leeway because it's Mickey, you think?
I just think it's just so absurd. It's just
I think
different.
he could have just lifted her skirt or said something really gross, but I felt like the face all up in there, and then the finger on that one panel, it's yikes. I don't know. It was it definitely could have proved the same point that he's just ultra skeevy pervy mouse without going so far. I felt he's a little far, but
now, is it possible that he's just doing a Trump here and grabbing her by the pussy?
Well,
it could be.
You got to imagine
some kind of statement.
He thinks he's above.
He thinks he's top shit. Yeah,
no,
that's what I'm saying. He thinks
I totally
he's Trump.
get that.
He can get away with everything.
He's doing this in broad daylight
But
in front of witnesses, so clearly he doesn't care.
But he's a dumb cartoon mouse. Right.
I get it. I just it's a little much for me.
I will say that it is less egregious to me than, say, Glum's whole body swap thing, where it was kind of that left me kind of ugh,
Yeah.
This is definitely kind of more in a creepy territory. This to me was kind of more slapstick and ridiculous. I don't love that Maxine was, molested yet again.
To me, it could have been creepy if he smacked her ass or lifted her skirt, but I mean, he's penetrating her. It's that's. Couldn't we have just made the point that he's creepy and gross without going that far? I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely the thing is the decision to have him fucking finger her is fucking pretty crazy. I mean, if you think about it, it's god damn, dude. I don't know. Like I said, I just think that we're at the end of this.
Yeah.
I think that even though I will agree with you, Jim, I think the juxtaposition of Mickey Mouse doing this,
yeah,
I think that buys you some leeway for sure. Because it's I will tell you guys that I knew Erik was going to use Mickey Mouse when Mickey Mouse went public domain. I goddamn knew he was going to be the first one. I knew no one else would fucking do it. I knew he would be the one to do it, right? And yet, I fucking definitely didn't see this being what he was going to do with Mickey Mouse. What the fuck? Of all the things he could have done.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was even something that Erik was thinking about, but just with that Nickelodeon documentary that just came out.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's your childhood heroes were just, or not heroes, but, there's a tainting of your childhood.
There are a lot.
And I think this
know
is just
a lot
a
of
visual representation of that.
I know a lot of 20-something and 30-somethings that grew up on those shows, and they really did see those creators as heroes because they made all of their favorite shows.
Right, but not the producers and the behind the scenes.
No, they're
molesting kids. Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, and we're at a point now because you know IMDb and stuff exists. People follow producers and directors and stuff, and the showrunners, the people who make the shows, and so those people were generally well regarded until all this stuff came out. Because they were so prolific.
I was too old. I've never seen any of those shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
But I think this has got the same kind of vibe, right?
I will say this. I think you're right, Mark. There's definitely kind of that like sort of, you know, like tainting of your childhood thing. I think that like when you're doing, there's a couple things at work. I think when you got Mickey Mouse, you know, you're gonna definitely do something weird with him to distinguish that you're not doing the Mickey Mouse. But I think I mentioned this in the Facebook group. There's also kind of the one way I can give this a little bit of forgiveness is that it is a continuation of the fact that Maxine's viral video has caused problems for her.
Right.
And one thing I do like about Savage Dragon is it doesn't really kind of hand wave things away. Like, problems persist, right? And so Maxine, who, you know, is a sexual character and stuff, that video, viral video of hers is kind of causing her problems. And if you know anything about, like, you know, sex workers or e-girls or whatever else, like, this is the kind of weird shit that they actually do have to deal with. Like, fans that come up to them in public and just, like, grope them or, like, fucking slip their hands down their pants and crazy shit that you wouldn't think, right? But, like, I've seen, like, where they talk about that shit on Twitter and they're like, dude, it's never okay. Like, you might think because of the, you know, sexual nature of my work or whatever that I'm okay with this, but it's never okay. Like, you have to respect me. And it's fucking crazy. So, I mean, I don't know if that's what Erik was thinking. I'm sure he just wanted to draw Mickey Mouse doing fucked up shit. Is the truth.
But I'm on the same page because I thought the same thing. It's because I have friends with people that do OnlyFans, and they tell you about the messages they get, and just creepy people to thinking that it's okay to say and do weird shit to them. And this is exactly the same kind of stuff. And I feel like Erik's not so far detached from the pulse of society that he doesn't see this stuff also, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'll do you one better, dude. As little as, like, I would say I have compared to, like, an OnlyFans sex worker or something. Dude, some of the stuff people said to me because they think that I'm just going to be okay with it, it's pretty weird. It's pretty weird. So, like, people just drop some shit on you and you're like, I really didn't want to know that about you, but okay. And so
right.
I think that there's a little bit of that here where...
Just from being publicly horny and sexual.
Right. And you know, and that makes sense. And to be fair, it makes narrative sense. I guess it's just really a question of should it have gone this far? Is back to the old question: is it entertainment?
Right.
And I would say yes in this case. I think this qualifies, just from the context of the scene and Maxine's history and this, you know, where things are going. My question is, where's it going to go from here? We've seen Mickey Mouse on the cover in a future issue. Is he really going to face down the SOS? Is he a supervillain threat of some kind?
Right.
Where is this going? Is he going to end up with his neck broken in a ditch?
So I guess that's where I think it kind of does fall into, okay, this is entertainment. Because it's like, at the end of the day, clearly Mickey Mouse is being set up to get an ass beating of a lifetime.
Right.
Right.
And
It's
so...
gonna be so violent.
Yeah, and so I think that you have... At least it does work in that respect because it's like, look, fucking, we all don't like what Mickey's doing here. And so it's like, and clearly I think he's going to get an ass beating. Then you get the question of like, I think it creates questions, which is why it works, because it's like, then it's like, hey, is he going to have toon physics powers? Like, what the fuck are we about to see?
But you're right. He's got to earn that ass beating.
Yeah. And he has.
And just a slap on the ass may not have... I mean, a slap on the ass I think would get him a stern talking to.
Right.
This crosses a line where...
No, he's going to get his ass beat.
I will say, I kind of feel like
bloody,
he's stealing
too.
some of Glum's thunder. I'll be honest. The other short
Little shithead.
shithead who needs to get murdered.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It'll be interesting just to see how far Erik goes with it. I mean, that's is that next issue? No, next issue is the kids on the cover chasing the tiger tail, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the ass beating is yet to come.
Yep. Moving
The
on.
best is yet to come. Sorry.
Craig quoting one of his favorite.
Shut up,
figures.
dude.
What is that from?
Remember, was it
Don't pretend you don't know her name.
Trump Jr.'s
Oh, right. Okay.
girlfriend? Was her name Tiffany something? Or no, that's the
I
one
could
of the
not tell you.
daughters. She just fucking screamed that. It's like, holy shit. My idol.
Well, just look on your top 5 friends lists of people that you follow online, and the name will come up.
Oh boy.
Is Latoya the new Greta Gearbox?
I think she's just like the SOS liaison or tech officer.
Is this the first time we've seen her?
Yeah, she's new. And that's right. Wait a minute. Maxine, aren't they living on the compound? That's right. They never found
Yes.
a house, right? Everyone lives here. They're all living the frickin' dorm life, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that was part of the package. Youngblood told him. He's like, yeah, you got housing.
It must reek of fluids. This place.
Gross. Gross.
All these young people living together.
His Malcolm faces crack me up. The one in the middle.
Listen, I'm begging Gavin Higginbotham, take a list of the pet names. I think we've heard Toolbox before.
What you're saying is it's run its course?
No. I watched Erik publicly wish that Gavin had kept a list of all the pet names
Oh,
so that they could be unique every single time.
right.
I think that's a good idea.
I mean, how hard is it when you're lettering it to just open up a Google a text document and throw it in there? Then you have a list.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, while we're at it, I feel like we can blame Gavin also for not keeping a list of all the FINteresting conversations that we've done on the show, too, so we don't repeat.
Agreed.
As someone who
So this all comes down on Gavin.
who wound up repeating one of his funny intros and didn't know it, I can say, fuck you guys. It's harder than it looks. You try doing it.
I know, and it's Gavin's fault, is what I'm saying. I'm on your side, Jim. We're mad at Gavin.
Yeah. Team Jim.
Yeah, all the way. Hashtag Team Jim.
I love seeing these big fucking sea monsters, man. It
We-
lets you know you're in America.
The Grokks. Is there one Grokk, or is it the name of like the species?
Species, right?
I think it's the species at this. When the first one showed up, it was all just assumed that its name was Grokk, but then there was a bunch of them in. Oh, I can't remember.
Were they in Atlantis?
Savage World?
Savage World in
Yeah,
Atlantis,
it was
with
Atlantis.
Mako
Yep.
There was a whole bunch of them, and I think at some point Erik clarified that was the name of the
species.
species.
And they get around like through like Hollow Earth like
Tunnels.
tunnels and shit.
Through
tunnels
the
and
earth,
stuff.
yeah.
And this one's
got like baby proportions.
He does have the big
Tiny
head and the little body.
Those little legs.
I'm sure all those people he grabbed to eat. Which actually, now that I look closer, they aren't
No,
people. They're freaks.
He's freeing the fish.
He's freeing the fish
Oh.
people, yeah.
I thought he was coming to eat. Okay,
No,
that makes
he's
more
freeing
sense.
the fish people, yeah.
Because he has them.
He's breaking them
He has them
out.
close to his mouth, so I thought he was coming to eat them.
No.
They're getting spring from the clink, man.
Dang. They're a lot more organized than you think.
Yeah, dude. You think they were just a bunch of idiots that wanted pollution?
Do you think that could have been solved with a dialogue balloon from them saying like we're free or whatever?
Yeah, actually, that probably would have made it a lot easier for me to understand. Because I thought it was just a monster showing up to come eat people.
Do you think you're slow for
Well, I
needing
thought
that?
this.
Yeah.
Well, I thought the same thing the first time I read it. I said, well, he's grabbing these guys. I'm like, oh, they're all weird monster people. Oh, they're fish. But it at first it wasn't clear for me. So I'm on Jim's side again. Team Jim.
Craig, did you instantly understand? As did I.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the fish guys. It's not my fault, Mark. Can't really tell what the panel is. I don't know.
Look, I read these very fast. My first time. And then I go on a second reading and I look at every line and then I try to figure out what's going on. But my initial read is always super quick.
Yeah.
And it took me a second to figure out what was going on.
Why don't you slow down and enjoy the comic that you're going to review on a podcast?
Well, that's what the second...
Slow down, like ELO sings about.
Sing it for us.
I refuse.
Slow down, like Yellow says to do. Shooby-dooby-doo.
Who are these guys shooting at a goddamn Grokk? Did they think those bullets were going to do?
Cops. What are they supposed to
The
do?
morons.
I guess. Doesn't even feel it. It's like, yeah, no shit.
You're shooting a pea.
You flick a booger at an automobile as it comes careening towards you. That ain't going to work.
You do wonder sometimes if all these super monster crap is as common as it is, why there aren't like better tactics or response units.
There is. That's why they've got the
That's
SOS.
the SOS, yeah.
Speaking of giving some of these characters some personality, I guess this Janny is excited. She's all wahoo, here we go again. So she is rushing to danger. I suspect this is the Dimension X Janny.
Now, how could you tell?
Because she's excited about danger. And she experienced a lot of it in Dimension X.
There you go.
Didn't they both?
No, the other
Oh, wait,
one.
no, they didn't. That's right.
There was only one in Dimension X.
That's right.
Both Johnson
Fake
twins
fan.
were there.
Fake fan stance revealed.
Yeah, Janny's situation is weird because they're not twins and they're not clones. They are alternate reality versions of each other.
Right.
If only one of them had a mustache or a scar, we could tell them apart.
I am surprised he hasn't done that.
Like one gets scarred up.
Well, I mean, the opportunity has arisen because we'll get there. I like Angel's Power Girl outfit. I'm a big fan of that.
Love it. Boob window. I know it's a TV screen, but doesn't it kind of look like she's just looking at a photo of Grokk?
Fondly looking at her photo.
How do you even get out of this outfit? It looks like it's a bodysuit with like no exit.
It's just like a leotard with. It's like a
It's gotta
unitard with pants.
Crawl out of the collar, I think.
No, guys, do you really not know? It like snaps at the crotch.
Yeah.
Is that how it works? Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
You haven't worn something like this?
I have not.
It's
Not
been
had the
a while.
opportunity,
since
no.
Huh.
Speaking of outfits,
Yeah.
we didn't really talk about it, but Maxine's outfit's kind of interesting too, where she's got the dress and like the half shirt, and then the huge fucking awesome boots.
No, I appreciate it. Like, I love Maxine fashion.
The dick stompers.
She does have those ass-kicking boots. Look, I do appreciate that we get another great cartoony angel face. Now, okay, does Erik have permission to put cartoony face on this angel? You jerks. Does this work for you?
I'm going to allow this one.
Okay. Just checking.
I like the cab driver. He gets my seal of approval.
Yeah. A unique NPC.
You know, it is interesting. Angel gets 2 pages like this. They're both basically the same layout-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With her standing full figure and then the 5 stack panels.
Look, I'm never going to get mad when you have like multiple angel pages, especially if one of them's in a Power Girl outfit.
Right.
I want to draw this shit. How about you, Mark?
Yes.
Yeah, when I saw this,
everything.
I was like, I want to draw this.
What's that? The outfit?
Yeah. Sometimes you see something and you're like, I want to draw that.
This book always gets me in the mood to draw. Like, especially lately when he's doing these big chunky inks.
You know what I
I
like?
gotta use some big chunky inks, you know?
Hey, Mark.
What? Tell me what you like.
Mark,
Yes.
artist to artist,
Yes.
bro. How about that city panel? It's a lot of
On
goddamn.
the last panel?
Yeah, a lot of goddamn the shit panel.
It's a lot of detail for such a small panel.
It's dense, baby.
I mean,
It's
you
very-
got to
That's
imagine.
that's just a photo, isn't
Well,
it?
no,
It's
it's
not.
No.
light boxed, I'm sure.
But it's
I don't
cross.
know.
But he actually drew it over it, at least.
Yeah, it's cross hatching. It's very Sienkiewicz. I love it.
It's definitely, there's hand-drawn lines here. I don't know if this is reused from some, because it looks like it was drawn much larger, because the windows are so small, they're dots.
Yeah.
On some of these
Actually, you
buildings.
know what? I think I know exactly where
So
it's
I don't
from.
know if it was
Let me check.
reduced. Is there a previous issue where it was taken
I
from?
think it
Look
might
at
be
those-
from
those
the. I
highway
think it. I
signs,
think
the
it might
two.
be. I think it might be from the San Francisco issue, the introduction one. I'm gonna go check.
Look it up, Jim.
Look at all those box cars. All those Larsen box cars.
Those are probably.
Mhm.
But look at the highway signs. They're too like perfect.
You know what, Craig? I wish you'd never shown me that because you're right. Those highway signs. It's a weird combination of like you got lots of Larsen cars, and then you can look at the buildings and see like, you know, just grids that he just drew. But then you're right. You look at those like little signs, and that shit is like Xeroxed.
Well, that's why I wonder maybe if this was one of those panels that he did in a previous issue where he did them digitally,
It's good shit.
or it's a mix of traditional and digital, or what do you call it? Like a filter and just drawing over it.
Yeah.
It's definitely traced from
Found
a
it.
cityscape.
Found it.
Is it the same?
It is.
Is it exactly the same?
the same for 266. It's in exactly the issue I thought it was.
Lazy.
All right. This is the last episode of the Savage FINcast.
Artist to artist, how do you feel about it now, Mark?
Come back next month when we're talking about the new issue of Killadelphia. That's what it's gonna be. No, I don't.
Hey Jim,
The
non-artist to non-artist, how do you feel?
I don't
about
have
it?
a problem.
Seems
with
smart
this.
to me. Very economical use of time and effort.
Especially when you compare it to the panel, 2 panels above it. With those trees, and there's no, but look at that sign. There's nothing even on it.
Yeah, Jim has found the exact panel. It is 100% from that issue. How funny.
But it does appear to be cropped rather than shrunk. So,
Oh, really?
because the panel is also on like a 5-panel stack page. It's not like a big half page or anything. It's just a panel. And
But that was when he was still doing digitally and zooming in.
right, this would have been while he was doing
How are
digital.
the
Correct.
same exact cars and the same exact positions.
It's the
if
same
this
time
is
of
real
day. They're all
time.
going to work. Yeah, that's their schedule.
You know, Nikos could have saved his ass by recoloring a few cars.
And now the illusion is gone. I can't.
This is what this show is all about: exposing Erik Larsen for the hack fraud that he is.
You know what?
And honestly, he should be ashamed of himself.
Whatever keeps him coming out on time, baby. Keep him coming. Get that copy pasta.
No, there's no problem with that. That's great. Copy and paste as much as you want. Well, that's something he would have done before, but he would have actually done like a photocopy.
You know what, Jim? As
What's
a
up?
person who loved the disgusting Mickey Mouse scene,
Right.
how do you feel about the line? He was relentless, kissing and groping and shoving his weird cartoon fingers into me. How do you feel about your sick endorsement of that scene now?
Pretty good, honestly. All things considered.
Despicable.
I mean, it's an accurate
I'm
description
no
of what
longer
happened.
on
Yeah.
Team Jim.
He said, pretty good.
He's jealous.
Jealous.
I don't know. I'm not sure I'm that jealous.
So, wish Mickey was slipping his fingers into my weird body.
Wait, weird?
Yeah,
How weird is it?
pretty weird.
To be fair, most human bodies are weird. They're a weird thing, the human body.
They're all weird and gross.
They are.
That's fair. fair.
Someone was. What do we think about the filter on this 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth panel here on this page where he's jumping over the city?
It's interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, so here's what I think it is, and artists, you can tell me to fuck off. I think it's supposed to imply focal length, right? Like what's the word I'm looking for? Video games have them. Depth of field, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wait, so if you're not an artist, he can't tell you to fuck off?
No.
There goes Craig.
No, you're allowed. You can just sit this one out, Craig. Go ahead and put yourself on mute.
Yeah, it's a very interesting like depth of field effect to basically blur the background, but without actually blurring it by doing these little dash lines.
Yeah, I think it works. It's very similar to what happened earlier in the issue when they were fighting the fish people.
And it adds really important contrast, so it doesn't look like giant Malcolm is walking down the street.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what it would look like to me, because it looks like he's walking in this. That almost kind of tripped me up when you look at it fast, like Mark when he reads his comics fast. He probably just thought he
So
was
fast.
because it doesn't look like he's jumping.
I love how our new group dynamic is that we all hate each other, by the way.
We like each other. We're all friends,
Yeah, no, it's the
except
kind
for
of,
Craig.
it's a it's the kind of thing you would see in a manga. Is it's using like a tone effect to push the background into the back and to bring the characters in the foreground. And yeah, I love it. It is cool, and it does give you that visual clarity that you kind of honestly need a little bit. And no, it's cool, man. It's a bag of tricks. When you read this comic, if you are a person who is making comics, you're gonna fucking learn something if you pay attention.
It's just a really interesting way of doing depth of field to me, in a way that you don't see depth of field done much in drawn art. I suspect because it's hard, and also it often looks a little goofy, especially if you just do a blur filter on it.
They would normally put a filter, make it
blur it
or
with a blur
Put a blur
brush
on
or something.
Yeah.
But Larsen's one of those guys who he needs to have the line art actually shine through, and because I know he doesn't like color holds and like blurry effects and stuff. So
right,
Because it looks digital
just to keep it all.
when you do stuff like that.
Well, yeah, it's a digital filter, I'm sure.
Oh, you don't think he drew all the little dashes himself? You think it was a filter of some kind?
Oh yeah, I mean you can also get like a zipatone that's white that you can put over your line art that does the same thing and breaks up the lines like that. But I'm pretty sure this was done digitally.
I see.
I think it's a digital zipatone. I think it's a white digital zipatone, but I think it's a zipatone.
And it's probably was done as an afterthought. He probably saw this and like, he does look like he's walking through the street.
gigantic.
What can we do? You know, make those colors a little lighter and just bang out some of the line art in the back and
makes him look far away
without adding speed lines or like whatever to show his leap.
So, are these guys dead? You think?
No.
Because I don't think the Jannies are that strong or that tough
Strong enough to take a bashing?
to take a giant fist, drives them at 5 feet into the freaking cement. I don't know.
Well, they do show up on upcoming covers.
Covers
right?
lie. I learned that a long time ago.
There's no blood, right?
Yeah, there's no blood. They just kind of look smashed into the pavement. I think they're okay.
Yeah, I think so. I don't understand, like, what do we do now? What do we do? And, like, they're all worried. It's like, well, what do you mean? He's just walking back in the ocean. Like,
Yeah, I was going to
what do you
say.
want?
Go kick his ass.
I think maybe the question is, what if it comes back? Or maybe they need to stop it anyway, but, they can't. I don't know.
Do you think we will get to see Malcolm climbing out of one of those things' butts?
No, here's what we're going to see. We're going to see him crawling out of his dick because there's been a lot of complaints lately that we haven't seen enough cocks in this book.
Fair.
So he's going to crawl out of a Grokk cock.
Damn.
Grokk.
Whoa.
Really rolls off the tongue.
Can't believe someone
Grokk.
finally said it.
I've been waiting.
I
appreciate.
think I know what this episode's going to be called.
Crawling out of the Grokk.
Calling out a Grokk.
I like the rubble and debris in the panel where they're all smashed up. Especially the contrast between the square rubble coming up towards the viewer versus like the black rubble like smushed out into the background at the top of the panel. Just good shit. It's good shit.
It's a great way to show depth.
It's very nice. I like it.
Very nice.
This guy Larsen, he's got a future. He's got a future in comics.
If I could say something to Erik right now, and I know he's listening, I would say, go ahead and make another one.
That's good advice, I think.
Just put out another issue and see what happens.
Just follow your heart, kid.
Follow your dreams. Someday you'll make it, Tiger.
Keep going.
Shoot for the stars, and even if you miss, you'll land up in Uranus.
Someday you too will get to draw Batman's belt buckle.
Well, this issue had it all, huh, guys?
Yeah, let me say that I've really felt that the rapid turnaround on these issues has done the book a world of favors. And I think that this is when Savage Dragon is at its best. There's just a bunch of different plot points, a bunch of different things going on, new enemies being introduced, new threats. Yeah, man, this to me is some top-notch Savage Dragon. This is the way I like this book.
Yeah, agreed.
Bunch of weird shit. It was paced really nice. It didn't feel like it was bogged down at all. Bouncing between the side characters and main characters. This is classic Savage Dragon right here.
Starts with some action, ends with some action. Action in the middle.
I will say this final thought about all the sex stuff. It at least feels relevant to the characters in the story. It's not quote-unquote gratuitous.
Right, and it does have an impact on the characters.
Right.
Yeah, I will say that we didn't really touch on that because we tried to wrap it up and let people say what they wanted. But since you went ahead and say it, yeah, man, a lot of the criticisms that people have thrown the way is that they don't see the point of it. But it's I think mostly the sex stuff that's been happening recently had a point. It is relevant to the characters. It does have a purpose. It is leading into things. And I don't know.
And even when they were having orgies, there were ramifications. And it all led to something.
Literally, characters were created.
3 somethings.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a top-notch issue.
Now, the good news is we only got 6 pages of letters, so we don't got a backup to read.
I think it's
but
9
even then,
pages.
you get a huge letters pages, and that's calling back to the classic days of Dragon also.
It's weird, because I thought he was desperate for letters, and apparently he had all these extras from previous issues that he decided to fit in here because he had been losing space on backups in previous issues.
Yeah.
And that's when he called for it, he got a deluge.
Yeah, I think that it's fucking awesome to have. Dude, we've talked about it in past FINcasts, but the letters column is like a time capsule. I love to see so much goddamn representation of the FINcast fans, FINcast fans, yeah, right, of the Fin heads. I meant to say. I love to see so much representation of where people are at, what they're thinking.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of thing that when you go back and reread the issue, it's hilarious to see what people were saying and thinking and talking about. And yeah, man,
I didn't read them. What were they saying and thinking?
There were a lot of good questions in there, a lot of question-filled letters, which
numbered questions, yeah.
They're my favorite kind of letters when people ask questions,
I love a numbered list. don't
Yeah.
you? I'm not even
Absolutely.
joking.
No,
When I see the numbered list, those are the ones I read first.
Thing I like about the letters too is that, you know, it kind of reminds you is like not all Savage Dragon fans are on like the Facebook fan page. There's a whole ton of fans out there that don't interact online
Right.
and love the book, and it's really cool to see letters from kind of those people to kind of remind you like, hey, it's not, you know, it's a smaller group, but it's not as small as you think.
And seeing the familiar names popping up.
Yeah,
On
that
here,
too.
too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we think we got some recurring letter hacks, and it's like, I love it. You know, become a part of the book.
There were a few in there too that were like just picking up the book because they picked up the Ultimate Collection, which is kind of good to see.
That is good to see. I mean, that's like the whole
Yeah.
point, isn't it?
Yeah.
It seems to be a very Ken Albury heavy issue. It's got 2 letters in here.
Yeah, and a pinup.
And the pinup, yeah.
Are they both about insect?
I don't remember.
think he gave up
Probably
on
insect
insect.
was mentioned in both. That ship has sailed.
So, Savage Dragon, 269. Nice or not nice?
Ooh.
You know what? Thank you for saying what we were all thinking. There was no 69 in 269. He's got another 100 issues before he's getting a shot at that, and I don't think he's going to make it.
Like there should have been 2 69s in here.
You had the twins.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead, we had 0.
Do you think the thought
Should have
crossed
been a
his
variant
mind
cover.
of the twins 69ing each other side by side?
Yes.
And then Malcolm flings the door open and goes, "Oh my God, 269."
Now, Erik is listening, and I know he is listening. I know he listens.
Right.
And I pray that he is.
Yeah.
He's kicking himself right now.
Yeah.
You just know how much Erik
For
loves when people tell him what to put in his comic.
Somewhere in San
Yes.
Francisco, he's just like with one hand snapping a pencil in rage. God damn it!
And then the dinner bell rings.
It's 269 and a half he's going to have to put out now.
Listen, if anybody out there wants to draw that, who's not me or Mark, I invite a new Savage Dragon side challenge. Savage FINteresting art topic.
Yeah.
269.
And send it in, and we will describe it
Photographs are also okay.
to the listener.
Dear listener, if you would like to draw 269s, go for it.
And you can use any characters you want. I mean, I know there's been some names suggested here. But if you want to do maybe some characters we haven't seen in a long time.
Perhaps some of the vicious fishes.
Yeah. The Doctor
Dang.
on
all this
vacation from Freak Force.
all this sex stuff is getting into our podcast now. It appears to be contagious.
Should the Savage FINcast do away with its explicit sex?
Should we be a chaste podcast?
Are we pious?
Should we stop recording the shows
Yes.
nude? Because
Listen,
I've been nude this whole time.
I don't know what the eclipse did to you up there in Erie, right within its direct path.
We were in the path of totality, my friend.
Yeah, but put your clothes back on when you record this show. I'm in a full
You can't
tuxedo.
see.
I'm in a full tuxedo. I'm sitting, sipping wine and eating caviar. This is a serious event for me.
Okay. I appreciate the note, but I think instead what I'm going to do is just turn my camera off. So that way you don't have to look at it. But I'm still going to know that I'm nude.
Meat and potatoes has always been a euphemism, folks.
Cover your chair with some plastic too while you're at it.
Oh, there's no chair. I've been standing up every episode.
God damn.
Any final thoughts
You know what?
about the comic, gentlemen?
What comic?
Exactly.
Oh, Dragon. Yeah, it was good. Did we
It's
want to
good.
mention Ken's back cover? He's got a nice little pinup on the back.
Yeah, no, Ken Albry, Super Freaks alumni, creator of the salvaged She-Newt. Dear listener, if you are listening, Ken is a friend of the show, a contributor, to Savage Dragon, Super Freaks, Savage Dragon itself now. And he's got a 100-page issue kickstarting as we speak. It should still be going by the time you listen to this. Please, salvaged She-Newt. Jump on there and give that man a hand. He needs it. And Ken, you do awesome work. Always a pleasure to see you in the book. Would love you to see you in the book more. Your letters, keep working on them.
But I think also Ken's stuff is looking better and better every time I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's showing some
absolutely.
rapid improvement. And it's nice to see him get this back cover. I'm very, very happy for him.
Fuck yeah, dude. Absolutely. The issue was good. It was honestly like, I can't say it was like, oh God, mind blowing or anything like that. But it's like, dude, Savage Dragon always delivers. Like, this was an easy 8 for me. You know what I mean? 8 out of 10. But like, it just, the whole time I'm reading, I'm laughing, I'm in all the art, I'm in, the jokes are funny, the action's awesome, the situations that are created have me wondering what the fuck's gonna happen to like the characters and shit like that. So it's like, nah, dude, it's everything you could want from a comic. It's everything you could want from Savage Dragon. 10 out of 10. 8.
Right.
Hold on. 10 out of 10, 8?
Yep.
Okay, got it. It's definitely checked all the boxes. Like you said, I'm not sure where it's going to go next. And that's the best part of Savage Dragon is when you finish an issue and you're like, well, now what's going to happen?
Yeah. Yeah, fucking A.
And apparently they're going to be chasing a tiger.
Hey,
By the tail.
you know who the fuck we missed. We missed Walter.
That's right. I guess he didn't appear in this issue.
He was on a train getting attacked by hobos last time we saw him.
I mean, he's still on his cross-country, homeward-bound adventure. He's probably meeting another talking dog and getting into hijinks on bridges. The usual stuff.
Trying to steal KFC.
He's already done that.
Well, trains are slow.
That train
Right?
from
How?
that train from Canada to San Francisco.
Now that's just a fantasy.
So I guess the solicitation for 270 says,
What's it say?
while Malcolm Dragon's team faces its greatest challenge, the Dragon Kids go off on an adventure of their own. Comes with our highest possible recommendation. So it's been a while since we've seen the Dragon Kids going off on an adventure of their own, and we got a throwback to their, their logo, which I think is cool. I like it.
Yeah. I kind of hope it ties into that first story we had with them. Because I thought that
The
was
fantasy
fun.
dimension.
Yeah, I think there's more to explore there.
Oh yeah, big time, dude. And talk about long bomb payoffs. Like that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Was it? It was actually before the Funnies issue, right? Or
Pretty sure.
see,
This is when actually researching things would help.
because that was. See, the hardest part is getting all the covers together so I can scrub through them all. All right, let's see here. Covers, let's see. Funnies was 52. And that story was 36. So, wow, that was actually, way before Funnies.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's I don't know what's gonna happen. There was also an alternate cover for the next one with the black and white with Malcolm. That's 270, right?
I don't recall. I have to look it up.
Yeah, here it is. It's Malcolm is just standing there. It's like a black background. There's no color. It's just a black and white cover. It's a drawing. I think he did at a convention.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
and decided he
it's
wanted
kind
to
of
use for a cover.
Bland cover for me. I think. Oh, I see what's going on. So the A cover has the Savage Dragon Funnies logo, and so he used this for his Image trade dress logo. So it's interesting, but covers are different. It's like I want to say it's the first time he's done that, where the Image Comics Group cover is a different image entirely.
Yeah, that is new. Normally, the only difference is the trade dress.
Right. Yeah. And some color differentials.
Well, there's a red version and a purple version too of the kids, right?
Yeah, correct.
Oh, I don't see that.
Where it's got a different...
I don't see that on the Image website, so I must be wrong about that.
There was it was like the logo that was used from. I think it was one of the Frank Fosco.
Yeah, you're remembering right. The Frank Fosco back cover.
The wavy logo.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's like a wavy logo.
Our man's going variant cover crazy.
You know what? I don't love variant covers, but I know that they help a lot when it comes to selling your book. So bring them on.
I personally am okay with it in this instance only because, like, goddamn, dude, whatever this book needs to keep coming out, like, fuck it. I'm in. I'm in for the long haul.
Yeah. And I've gotten to the point now where I'm not a completionist for Savage Dragon. I stopped getting all the variants. I think around like 250 when they had all those
different artists cover, yeah.
Guest artists, doing those. I was like, I don't need these. And I'm like, I'm just gonna get the covers I like.
There weren't that many good ones for 250. If I remember, was it 250 or yeah?
250 had a cover problem.
Yeah.
They're very
it was
uninspired.
An expensive issue. And it was like, am I going to spend another $10 just to get this cover that I don't even really like?
Right.
Just so I can say I have it, and then I'm like, I don't need to buy everything.
And I'm also not like overly like, if you're just swapping colors around, I don't feel like an urge. And so it's like, I'm not worried about it. Like, I'll get what I get and whatever.
Yeah, and it was worse on 250 because you had like several uninspired covers and it was a $10 book.
Yeah.
The best one was the Walt Simonson one.
Oh yeah.
I would say
absolutely.
It's even better than like the A cover from Erik because it was just Savage Dragon miniseries #1 again.
Mm-hmm. But if people are buying them, then by all means, keep making them.
Oh yeah. Because here's the thing you got to realize is that, like, dude, the average reader of this book is fucking in his 40s. He's probably got the dough to spend on whatever the fuck he wants as far as entertainment goes.
Oh, I wish.
And, like, well, I'm just saying, like, this book also doesn't exactly come out, like, 12 times a year. So it'd be different if you were getting, you know, your wallet was taking a hit, like, every single month with, like, 4 covers for one book.
Right.
I mean, in reality, we're probably going to see 8 issues this year. And that's how it goes. And so it's like, yeah, I got some extra dough for some extra covers. If I like them, you know, I'll snap them up. So it's all good, whatever.
Do you think his productivity is going to slow down?
Listen,
because he's been banging them out.
Here's what the fuck I'm praying for, and tell me how you guys feel, Erik. Because again, I know you're listening. You don't have to do an oversized 275.
Yeah.
Save your power for 300. You don't need to, dude.
I think if he does feel, Erik, I'm talking directly to you. I know you're listening. Hi, Mark. I'm on the show now. If you want to do a big issue, do like a double-sized issue.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. Doesn't have to be a hundo.
Yeah. There's fewer people that you have to chase down to finish their work.
Historically, there have been a few, like, 50-page issues, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 25 was double-sized. I think, issue 2 was bigger. There was that Vanguard. That wasn't a double-size, but I can't think of another one that was just double-sized. They've mostly been like 50 and 100 pages.
I'm okay with
the anniversaries.
I'm okay with, like you said, a double size. You want to do a double?
Double sizes, yeah.
It's fine. It's more than enough.
It's great.
All right.
Thank you, Eric. That's all I had to say. You're welcome to turn off the show now. And we'll see you next episode, Eric. This has been Mark, by the way.
The Savage FINcast.
Yeah.
Dear Slim, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling.
Right.
Hey, thanks for listening for real, everybody. Everyone else? Everyone else now? This is your turn. Everyone else who's listening, thanks a bunch.
And I know you're listening. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You made it this far. The rambling didn't run you off. You're still on that commute. You're still listening to us. Thank you for listening. Thanks.
You're on that train from Toronto to San Francisco, right. Which I looked up, and it's about a 3-day journey.
God damn.
So he should be there by now, Walter.
Right? Thank you guys, as always. Like, always a blast talking Savage Dragon with you.
Yep.
Thank you.
I hope we get to do it again very soon. 12 episodes this year, plus retros. This is going to be the year of the dragon.
Don't make promises you can't keep. We do need to get back to those retros, though. We've left those Deadly Duo issues languishing far too long. We know the people demand and clamor.
We'll get them.
So, everyone, that's it. Savage episode done. Congratulations. We did it. Thank you for listening, everyone. Bye.